You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
Get out. Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 309. As you can see, the theme for this week is get out, because it is a lot of folks leaving this week. Well, Nick Saban decides to leave. Arthur Smith needed to leave. Ron Rivera is asked to leave. Jameis Winston, we hope he leaves. Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith, boy, they don't leave each other's presence soon. Vrabel leaves. Pete Carroll is forced to leave. Belichick leaves. Lord have mercy. Clippers make sure Kawhi ain't leaving, and if the Dodgers don't win the World Series, they may have a lot of free agents leaving because it's gonna be an ultimate choke job. Well, anyway, we're gonna talk about it all. It has been a long, long week in sports. Episode 309. Let's get it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red Rev Sports Show. Red and Coach are coming to you live from the ATL Show.
Howdy.
Giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans who were real sports athletes. So hang out with your boys, Red Rev and Coach, as we share this real sports knowledge with you on episode 309 with also our homeboy named Armani Newsome. So with that being said, we're going to turn our numbers attention to our numerologists on the panel. Coach Patrick Thomas, what you got for us, Coach, with those numbers 3, 0, and 9?
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning from the friendly confines of Atlanta. Number 309 is a man. Everybody knows him. He was a contributor to a title run. He made 3 NFC championship games. He is one of the best quarterbacks of his era. Even though he quarterbacked for the New Orleans Saints, but hey, he still was prolific. Number 9 in your program and mine, 3-time three NFC championship games, Drew Brees. Former New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. I think as Falcons fans, we can appreciate him a little bit better now that he's no longer on the field. Because he used to torment Atlanta Falcons, boy. Him and that combination of Sean Payton, Lord have mercy. They used to give the Falcons the blues. So big ups to Drew Brees. Do you have appreciation for him, Red? Come on, man. Come on, man. Now that he's retired, man, you got to give it up. Come on now. He was a bad man. He was definitely a bad man. He's like how I came to appreciate Larry Bird when he was no longer playing. Like, I hated Bird when he was playing. But then
Saints player and the Celtics player back to back.
but when you go back and look at Bird's greatness, you can't deny it. Just like even though being a Falcons fan, used to hate Drew Brees, but he was a bad man for sure. He was definitely a bad man. How you gentlemen doing?
Doing good.
I mean, if you're a sports fan, you got to be overly excited today. After all the stuff that is transpired in the world of sports, you can't help but be fired up. All right, let's go check out who's a present with Revenite Nation on today. We want to welcome them. They help make the show. What up, G? He said, what's up, fellas?
What's up, G?
The president is in the Red Rev Sports Show building. It says time to slam down the gavel. He gave a specific assignment to the VP. Let's see if the VP is ready to fulfill that assignment. He says the VP is in the building, ready to slam down the gavel to get this party started. Let's go. The Red Rev Sports Show about to do their thing, and the president VP will be leading the charge, representing Revenite Nation. It sounds like the administrators, the officers of the Red Rev Sports Show are ready to get it started. It feels like they got an MC Hammer spirit. Let's get it started. Let's do it. Good morning, Mr. President. He said he's peeling his buckets of armor-plated Griffin shrimp straight out the lake, saving some for Coach. Oh, man, Coach getting some seafood love.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. If I wasn't allergic, I'd be right there helping you pee, your brother.
Oh, man, Coach, you allergic to seafood?
Shrimp.
Oh, shrimp.
Gosh.
God, man.
Can't get near it.
I'm sorry for you, but glad I don't share that allergic reaction. Dre Anthony, come on with guys. Come with guys. Good, glad to have you. And The VP said, this was an amazing sports week. I'm sharing the show now. Thank you, sir. Tune in to the Red and Rev Sports Show, and we want you all to share this broadcast with the people who are watching, who could be watching. Go ahead on and hit the share button. Let somebody know what you're watching. If you're on Facebook, share the link so we can get some potential more likes. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become a subscriber to the Red and Rev Sports Show. I guarantee you, you won't be disappointed. All right, gentlemen, let's jump right into this sports show 309. You all know we got our dope, nope, and cope moment for this week. We'll be doping on our best moments of the week, noping on the things we did not like the best during the course of this week, coping, trying to figure out some things that may have gone on during this sports week. All right, I'll start with Coach Patrick Thomas, and then we'll go around the horn. What's your dope moment, Coach?
My dope moment goes to one Raiders organization. I find that it seems like they're ready to go on and pull the trigger on Antonio Pierce because they're reporting that he's the leading candidate for the Raiders job. He should be the only candidate for the Raiders job, but I hope they go ahead, pull the trigger, and go on inside him because he looks like he's going to, the players said the usual statement, they'll run through a wall for him, but this time they will. So Antonio Pierce and the Raiders organization, my dope moment.
Coach, I got to put a point of order. I can't play a sound bite on him being the leading candidate. Come on,
I did it for the Raiders organization, making him the leading.
Coach,
you want me to get another one? I'll do another one.
No, you skipped. You forbidden, man. Come on now. You've been doing the show. You done about 200 plus episodes by now, and you should know better. All right, just do me a favor. Lower your camera, please. Thank you, sir. That's how we're going to dope right there. All right, Coach, come on, man. Leading candidate. We already know that could change at any moment. It got to be like Stevie Wonder said. What, Coach? It has to be what? What did Stevie Wonder say?
Sign, seal, deliver.
There you go.
Sign, seal, deliver.
Yeah, come on, man. Got to be signed. Red, help the young oldest man on the panel out right here. Come on.
Oh. Man, Ray, I'm glad you got this injury this morning. I'm still a little sleepy, but I'm gonna try to match it sooner or later. My dope moment goes to the Harbaugh brothers. Once again, both Harbaugh brothers are leading championship contending teams. One just won a championship this Monday, and the other brother's team is the number one team in the AFC with the MVP and the favorite to win the Super Bowl. So dope to the Harbaugh brothers, both running football, one in college, one in the pros. Once again, dope. And hopefully they'll probably both be in the pros trying to compete against each other again. Hopefully one will be in the but we'll talk about that a little later. But dope to both Harbaugh brothers contending, having their teams championship contenders again. How's that, Real?
Oh, yeah. All right, Armani, what are you doping on, sir?
I'm doping on one Tobias Harris this week. On Wednesday, even though in a losing fashion, he came out, dropped 32 points, 6 rebounds, and the night after that, he dropped 37 points and 7 rebounds and 3 assists. So, hey, Tobias, man, you know, we need this consistently. We're going to need this consistently with Joel's injuries. We're going to need that on a consistent basis, sir. Do it on a consistent basis, but good job for the week. You get my dope moment.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
I got a dope on the rookie who will probably be Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. This man did something that I had never heard of in NBA history. This man had a triple-double in, check this out, ladies and gentlemen, 21 minutes of basketball play. An NBA game has 48 minutes. Wemby had a triple-double in less than half of an NBA game where he scored 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. It may have been against the lowly Detroit Pistons, but it was in an NBA game and less than a half. So I got to give my dope moment to Victor Wembanyama. He's making some noise already in the NBA. Oh, yeah. All right, Red. Show us what the note moment looks like. What you got?
Okay. Let me clear my throat for this one. I am noping on one Ryan Rollins. Name ring a bell? Anybody? Okay, good. Let me explain who Ryan Rollins is. Ryan Rollins, a member of the Washington Wizards, was recently cut this week by the Washington Wizards, and I'll tell you why. Because Mr. Rollins was arrested for stealing from Target. That's right, stealing from Target. Little bitty items like deodorant, lotion, all the little items you can spend maybe $20 on. Mr. Ryan decides to go not one, not two, not three, 7 times. Mr. Rollins was arrested from Target for stealing little personal items. Lord have mercy. I mean, I know life is tough in the NBA, man, but boy, you can't reach in your pocket for $20. You ain't got. I mean, you're making $1.5 million this year, Ryan. I mean, Lord, are you that cheap? They call Red a cheapskate, but boy, you are the epitome of a cheapskate. I mean, just look up in the dictionary cheapskate and see Ryan Rollins. Well, now you're going to have to look your name up next to criminal, convict. But anyway, nope to Ryan Rollins for being too doggone cheap to reach in his pocket for a few dollars and decides to steal them. And now he's arrested, cut, and convicted. No to Ryan Rollins. And then we have dope, but I mean not dope.
That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Armani, please help us.
I'm up and on one men's college basketball yet again. I can't. I tried to sit and watch a game. It's too boring. I can't do it. I don't know. This got to be fixed. I used to, as a teenager and as a kid, got hyped up for these games. Now I be watching them, and in 5 minutes they be watching me sleep. We got to do better with college basketball. Men's college basketball. We got to do better.
Yeah.
Oh, come on! Lower your camera just a little bit, Armani. And I can't deny what you just said. I experienced the same thing this past week. I tried to watch one of those games, and I'm looking at all these kids, and I'm just imagining when I played, some of these kids would have been playing in Division II and Division III. These are not D1 ball players, and it's hard. All right, that could be a show in itself. But let me go on to my note moment. My note moment goes to the Portland Trailblazers. This past week, they got, as some folk would say, blowed out, even though it's supposed to be blown out. They got blowed out by the Oklahoma City Thunder, not by 42 points, not by 52 points, but by 62 points. I don't care if it may have been a back-to-back. I don't care if you didn't bring your A game, but you clearly brought your F minus plus minus game to get drilled by 62 points. Your fan base deserves better. Your organization deserves better. And Chauncey Billups, you better get your act together, or Portland will be finding a new sheriff to be calling the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. So they get my note moment because of getting drilled by 62 points. That's unbelievable. Coach, hopefully you have a confirmed note moment.
I have a terrible note moment.
All right, man.
My note moment goes to the Buffalo Bills organization, who put out a flyer or a memo or something saying they need help shoveling the snow at the field for the game on Sunday. And guess what you offer people to do it? $20 an hour. Are you absolutely kidding me? $20 an hour to shovel all that snow off the stands and the field? That's not a high school stadium. That's a pro stadium. And the best you can do is say, "Oh, we'll give you $20 an hour," and oh yeah, they threw in complimentary food. Oh yeah, that'll get people out in the frigid weather to try to shovel snow from a football stadium. $20 an hour. You got to be kidding me, Buffalo. Wow, you can do better. You got to throw up something better than that.
So coach is saying, run away from making some money. So how much should they get paid, coach?
At least, I say at least 100. You're looking at all those stands and that big circle. You're looking at a 60, 70,000 seat stadium that you got to try to clear out, and everybody. I forgot. The complimentary food is gonna get everybody. What, you gonna give them hot dogs?
Well, that's above. $20 is above minimum wage. Way above minimum wage.
Rev, you can't make this sound good.
I think. I would say it's not crazy. Where I can see your point is how cold it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to think about it though. If they had like 300 people show up, you paid 300 people $100 an hour.
They got the money. They got it all. They got it something.
All right. They do have the money. I can't deny that. They do have the money. Yeah, but I got you. So obviously it'd be clear. Coach would not be out there for $20 an hour.
Not even close.
I got you.
No. I'm not sure Coach would be out there at all, but
even
if they paid the right amount, yeah, we work it out.
For the 100 rand, you don't think you'd be out there for the 100?
Oh no, too cold, man. Coach would be like, man, I am cold. I got to stay in heat.
All right, Armani, let's flip this thing around for our Coke moment. Start it out.
I'm coupled with the fact that Ryan Garcia pretty much went another route instead of fighting Devin Haney this upcoming May. Sir, if you listen, why are you robbing us of this moment in boxing that needs to happen with you and Haney, then Haney and Gervonta Tate Davis? Sir, if you're scared, just say that. If you're scared, just say that. That's all you got to say. If you're scared, say that. But don't, man, come on, man. You fighting an inferior opponent for real instead of fighting Devin Haney? Come on, dude. Come on, man.
All right, I'm coping with the fact that it seems like the Atlanta Falcons don't have any clear direction with this coaching search, and we'll talk about that more. I just want to say it from this angle. If we're going to get an old coach, don't let it be Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Let it be Pete Carroll. If you're so bound to deter to get an old coach, even though I'm only bringing this up because the Falcons are not remotely considering Pete Carroll, even though he's the better choice of the old coaches that got dismissed or mutually agreed to depart this past week. Pete Carroll, last 4 seasons, has had 3 winning seasons out of 4. The only losing season he had was when Russell Wilson was in his last year's quarterback. Meanwhile, a guy they are considering has had 3 out of 4 losing seasons. And this genius decided, let's develop our young quarterback by making a defensive coordinator the offensive coordinator. That's the one you want to rise up in Atlanta. All right, Mr. Blink, it's time to really see. It's time for Falcons to truly see, rather, you are the problem. You're the problem, Mark Blaine. Coach, what are you coping on?
My coat moment goes to Naomi Osaka, tennis player, who is returning to the tennis world, to the Australian Open. She just had a child and she's trying to come back, and she's been diagnosed, or had been diagnosed with dealing with mental issues. I'm hoping that she has a good Australian Open and she can cope, with, just having a child, possibly being away from your child and dealing with all the things that she was dealing with. I hope that's in the past. Hope she can come back, and she was ranked number 1. I don't know where she is now, but hope she can come back and pick it up for next this Australian Open and play good. She's on a collision course with Coco Gauff if she keeps winning, and that's going to be a tough one for her.
Coach, man, I'm coping with your dopes and copes today.
Oh, Graham, I'm so glad. I'm so glad somebody else had that.
I'm looking at you.
I was trying to fix my facial expression, so it went. I was like, okay, if Rev laughing, let me laugh.
I'm looking at you behind stage, Rev, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me.
Oh my God.
Coach, man, you're struggling today, man. You're struggling today. So what's the actual coach? That she coming back? Because I'm like, when you said, and I'm not trying to rag on you, Coach. You know I love you. We just got to be politically correct, though. So he said she may be away from her baby. I'm like, doesn't she got enough money to bring a nanny with her?
I'm dealing with her mentally.
How far is the baby going to be from her, Coach? Like, you think
it's okay. Let's move on. Thank you.
No, Coach, we had to sit through. We had to sit through what you gave now. That was
a long
coach.
90-minute monologue, so let's move on.
Coach, don't get mad now. We had to sit through.
Oh, no.
We didn't cut you
I'm
off
ready to
now.
move on.
Coach, we didn't cut you off now. We just want you to be a little sharper. That's all. Man.
I was gonna do another one, but it was toward the what we talking about. I didn't want to step on the topics.
Okay. All right, Red. Go ahead, Red.
Okay. All right. I'm coping with Coach's coach. Okay, that was the last one. Okay, nah, for real though. Well, I'm coping with, and the NFL needs to cope with that. It's definitely becoming a receivers league, and running backs need to cope that this ain't their league no more. This year we had 12,000-yard running backs, and only I think 3 or 4 maybe even had like over 1,000 yards, or most of them had just over 1,000 yards. Well, the other top was maybe, I think Christian McCaffrey may have had 1,600. The guy from the Rams maybe had 14, and maybe 1 or 2 more other people over 1,100 yards. But most of these guys, and a lot of these guys, I think James Cook had 1,100 yards, and it was his first 1,000-yard season. And most of the guys had barely 1,000 yards. Now, that's just 12 guys total with 1,000 yards. You want to guess how many receivers had over 1,000 yards this season? 28.
Wow.
28 receivers had over 1,000 yards. So it's double the amount of running backs that had over 1,000 yards. I mean, almost 30 receivers topping 1,000 yards, where only 12 running backs only 1,000 yards. NFL is definitely becoming a passing league, and the running backs have to continue to cope with their position is becoming extinct. Thank you.
Game over, man. Game over.
Wow. Who would have ever thought that would be the case, especially growing up, where you would see probably 60 to 70% runs over passing. And now it's like 80 pass, 20% run. And Goodness gracious, man. If you're a parent out there, don't have your child play running back if you want them to have football dreams, that's for sure. All right, man. We had some laughter. Coach, you've been a good sport, man. You've been a good sport, man. We just had to get you a little bit. Let's get to the.
Rev, you're going to be sending an email.
What'd you say? You quitting on the show? You quit. You giving your resume?
I'm gonna have an email with some stern words and some harsh comments. Just get ready. It's an email comment.
Well, you might have to meet the administrators.
That's okay.
The administrators might have to pull you in the office today, Coach. We may have you be talking about Armani be
That's
suspended.
all right. I know what to say to him.
You talking about Armani be suspended. We might have to we might just suspend you for dope coke next week. No, I'm just playing. All right, let's move on to see what the Reverend Nation had to say.
I'm afraid to see what they say.
Oh, Lord have mercy, man. This is already a great show, man. Oh, man. The comments are off the chain already. So many of them. Let's see. Can we get to them? Here we go.
My Friday networking is working.
Coach, you would have perished on the bubblegum shrimp boat.
Yeah.
Keith Raymond said if they don't hire Pierce, they'll need 52 new players who want to play for them. Anthony Corrs, nope on the Falcons, hiring a coordinator hidden behind a solid head coach. Nope on the short Hawks roster. We not the Warriors. I'm sorry. Dope on Trey All-Star. Nope on him playing injured and giving his best Teague impression. Dope on Saban finally leaving. He also said nope on the Saints plan not being at the post-emancipation of A. Smith from the team. Nando, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. The president says the fail can'ts prevent assistants from looking for jobs. Now, remember, that's if they are trying to go laterally. The Falcons can reject that. Now, if they're going upward, then the Falcons can't do that. Rawlings is a sticky fingers. That stuff is going up to Rollins' point. Okay. Nando doping on these Georgia fans so worried about Atlanta football. I guess you
Alabama.
All right, Keith Raymond, man. I can't put this next post up, man. We refrain from cursing on this show. So if you could edit that, I'll put it up. Anthony Corey, Hawks need Rollins on the Hawks. We need steals. That's pretty clever. The VP doping in his tour of GA this past week, visiting offices in Carterfield, Columbus, then ended in Augusta. I happened upon a historic marker that Rev may not know about, established 1787. Of course, Springfield Baptist Church is the oldest Black independent church in the nation, 1867. In the basement of this very church, Morehouse College was founded as Augusta. You know I know that. Vincent, come on. They moved to Atlanta, 1879. Was renamed Morehouse College in 1913. Rev, I'll send a picture to your message, man. I appreciate that, man. And thank you for sharing that message. No, he had too many characters and it cuts off after a certain amount. All right. Coach was ready to roast you now, VP. You heard him. He was ready to get you. Armani telling half the story like his camera. The product bad because back in our day, they played longer. The lack of luster is cause of the lack of investment, as you're talking about college basketball. The VP Chicago Bulls fan base booing the late Jerry Krause during Ring of Honor celebration. Matter of fact, they said his spouse started crying when they did that because she was there. Think what you want about him, the moves that he made helped to place 6 banners in those very rafters. Yes, that's very true. Just like on draft day, trading Derek McKee for Scottie Pippen. Also trading Charles Oakley, which led to the pick of Horace Grant. Also fleecing the San Antonio Spurs, sending them Will Perdue for Dennis Rodman. Those were Jerry Krause moves that led to 6 championships. Amen to what you wrote, Mr. VP. Note to the fans, you will not hang any more banners anytime soon. If ever, ungrateful busters. What's up, brother Derek? Good morning to you. The president said, Coach, $20 is not bad. People twerk on TikTok. People twerk on TikTok for less. Man, good morning, Miss Margaret. Glad to have you. The VP said, Rev, you don't want Pete Carroll. He'll get the Falcons to the Super Bowl tie game. He would let Bijan Robinson rush the team all the way down to the 3-yard line. Then we'll have Penix Jr. pass the ball to Drake London, only to be intercepted. The opposing coach, Billy Belichick. All right. Good morning, Sister Harris, as some call Mother Harris, who happens to be my mother. The president is noping on the politicians in California calling for investigations of the Bobby Ohtani deal. They are not liking that deferred deal because they could lose a lot of tax money if he leaves the state. Look at the Californians. They said we need to get that money from that big old contract. The VP said coach is going to be like the cart man. He's going to say, screw you guys. I'm going home. The president's coach, even though Noah K gave the correct pronunciation of his name, some announcer is going to screw it up. The president said, nope, the Chiefs sent out Taylor Kelsey, and he was 16 yards short of a 1,000-yard season. He didn't deserve it to get that record. The president putting up numbers to Red's Coke moment. Folks want excitement down the field. The tide will turn over the decades. Emmett's record will be safe for decades to come, for sure. The president said any defender against the Falcons could easily get 1,000 yards catching from Ritter, unless you're a McCaffrey-type player. Yeah, and there's only one McCaffrey, man. Good morning to you, Mr. Dante. Glad to have you. The VP said coach is going to have his management to file a complaint with the Red Rev Sports Show HR department. Rev will be on administrative leave after this incident. President, I will gladly fill in the show with Lieutenant Sonar. All right, what's up, Christian, man? He's doping on Ding Dong Saban is gone. The VP said Revenant Nation may not have known that black historical fact for sure. Keith Romans said Crowd's wife had to know she was going to be booed out there. Probably so, because she had to know. Even though her husband was very successful in what he did, he's very hated, especially after he dismantled the team after their second three-peat. The VP said, Revenant Nation, refrain from the profane language on the show. Go to Pat McAfee's show for that. Conduct yourselves accordingly. Let's have fun here. Meeting adjourned. Appreciate you, Revenant Nate. Appreciate you, Miss VP. Making sure there was order in the Revenant Nation. All right, man, let's continue to rock and roll. Fans, during the course of the show, Revenant Nation, during the course of the show, feel free to put your comments, make them clean. We'll put them up on the screen. You never know, your comment might help drive our discussion on a particular subject matter. All right, gentlemen. Oh, no, we're going to get to Nick Saban first. Nick Saban deserves more respect than us talking about the Falcons coaching search, even though two of us are diehard George. Well, Brett is a diehard George fan. I rock with him real hard. We know Armani is a diehard Alabama fan, and I must tell Armani I've included him on my church's prayer list for comfort and strength as he copes with the fact that his team will not be coached by the GOAT of college football ever again. And his team will probably never see the type of run that Nick Saban had in 17 years at Alabama, where they won not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6 national championships. And he retires having won 7 national championships, inclusive of the one that he won at LSU before leaving there to go to Miami Dolphins just to come back and coach the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, I'm going to start with you. Are there any Kleenex nearby? Just making sure. I don't know if you're going to bust us with a paraphrasing of Teal. That's my coach. You know, I said, that's my coach. That's my coach. So, Armani, man, you know, we're going to give you mad respect because even when it didn't look like the Tide were going to be doing too much this year, you still rock with them. You believed in your coach. And let me just ask you, all right, Red, we can't be having you to go off camera and then just whatever. Anyway, what were your thoughts initially when you heard about your coach retiring, and then just reflect on his legacy, and then tell us a little bit of how you feel about the hiring of Kyle DeBoer or Kalen DeBoer. What you got?
I mean, I remember when we hired Nick Saban, I was a young dude. I was 11, 12 years old. The rumor was, Miami was going. He said I didn't want to go to Miami, and then next week it's like, oh snap, he's coming to Alabama. So, and that's when Urban Meyer was on his run. So, we were happy to have him. I remember like it was yesterday, watching on TV at my grandparents' house, which I was, residing at the time. But I did not know that we would have this kind of run. But I mean, it's been great. All good things are eventually going to come to an end. For the most part, you can't beat 6 championships in 10 years. It's going to be hard to do that. He got 7. That's the most of all time. I'm happy for the run. I was there every championship, watched every championship game live, and it was fun, but at the same time, 72 years old, he said that some of the summer workouts were grueling on him. At that age, it's like, okay, I'm tired. It's probably time to hang it up. So, you can't coach forever. You can't. We're all going to retire someday. At some point in time from our profession, whether it's preaching or working at UPS or coach being a coach or me being in the military. It's going to come a time where we're not going to be doing those things one day. So, it was fun. So you just enjoy it. Again. It was a great time. It was a great time, regardless of, we lost, I think it was 2. We lost one at Georgia, one at Clemson. So, you just think about the times that we could have won maybe 9 or maybe 8 or 9. But, at the same time, you just appreciate the greatness that he has. And you look at across college football and look at his greatness is still living. You look at Kirby, what he's doing in Georgia. You look at Dan Lanning and Schumann and, all those guys that are doing well as a testament of, because they learn from Nick Saban. So,
and you can add Steve Sarkisian, you can add Lane Kiffin. He resurrected their coaching careers.
Yeah, yep, he did. And, they're all grateful for Coach Saban. And, I kind of felt that it was coming, especially with that meeting in the middle of the field with Kirby and Nick, in the SEC championship game. Something ain't sit right with me then. I'm like, why is Kirby like, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Kirby don't really, say that. I mean, he does say it, but not like that, and they kind of had a heartfelt moment. But it's been great. There's no, it shouldn't be a time for sadness because, I mean, hey, we had a great run and it was time to retire. So, Coach Saban, I salute you. I thank you for 17 years. Again, I was 12, 11 years old. I'll be 28 next week. So, it's been fun. For the most part of my younger life, we've been winning championships. So it's been fun, So I appreciate you, Coach Saban, and go off to retirement, enjoy your grandkids. And, rumor has it that you will have an office at Alabama. So I just want you to help us make the transition sweet for Coach DeBoer, who, he was just in the championship game this past year. So, I'm not sure what to think of it yet. I feel like that he could be a good coach. I just don't think that he'll be on that kind of level. You can't duplicate that. But, the show must go on and we have to move on. So, Coach Saban, I salute you and I appreciate you.
Let me read a couple of comments. I'm going to comment just shortly after I read these comments on what Armani said, especially referring to Coach Saban having an office in the building. The president said earlier, thinking if I get to run the show, I can finally talk about bull riding and Frisbee golf. I don't know how long you'll be on the show, even with Lieutenant Sonar. Good morning, Joe Black. Glad to have you. The VP said, what a great run. Now let's see if Kalen DeBoer can find his version of Michael Penix Jr. to go along with the Russian attack that Bama's known for. Should be fun to watch. The VP also said Nick Saban's stats, 7 natties, 11 SEC championships, 1 MAC chip with Toledo, 12 Western Division SEC chips. My Lord. The president said, do y'all think that Saban was ready to retire, as that he does not have as much control due to the rampant use of transfer portal, introduction of nil money? I would say probably it was a mixture. Of course, I think the latter, not having as much control, made him ready to retire. Mm-hmm. I think that's my opinion, even though he said Neil didn't have anything to do with it. But I think you get tired spending a whole year recruiting guys that could just ultimately leave the following year when they come. So I think that really wore on him. And if you really look at it, we've lost in this Neil era the GOATs, or arguably the GOATs of their respective sports. Some folk would say John Wooden in college basketball, but Coach K left. And I think a lot of the reason why he left was because of Neil. You have Roy Williams, who left during this era. Jimmy Boeheim, who was trying to stay on initially till he was 100. He left, I think, ultimately because of Neil. Jay Wright in Villanova left, and I think it was because of Neil. You look at Nick Saban. Neil definitely has given some people a reason to want to leave a little bit early, especially if they spent most of their coaching time on the other side of Neil. VP said, great soliloquy, Lieutenant Sonar. Brother G said Georgia's hired Bama's quarterbacks coach to Travaris Robinson. Robinson will come in as co-defense coordinator and safeties coach for Georgia. Thanks for breaking that. I want to say this, and this is coming from a preacher perspective, especially it's very prevalent in my field for pastors to follow a senior pastor who was revered and who ultimately retired. And one of the things that we normally hope for is when a senior pastor retires, he gets far away from the church, is nowhere around, because the last thing we need are the members always going back to the former pastor. And that's my concern when I saw the interview between Saban and what's his name, Reese of ESPN.
Reese
Davis of ESPN, when he said he's going to have an office in the stadium. I'm like, man, that's a red flag for me if I'm coming in as a coach, because everything that goes wrong, things they don't like, they're going to be calling on Coach Saban. Can you go talk to Coach DeBoer about this? The fan base are going to say, man, he needs to go visit the office for this. I wish Saban would move out of Tuscaloosa, go far away, so this man could have a clean slate. So I had to bring that up as a preacher. Red, you got any comments on this Saban retiring?
The party's over. Here is gone. Nothing lasts forever. No.
Sounds like you're a little bit happy about the news, Fred.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I couldn't be happier, man. I told you, man. Coach Saban was a thorn in my butt and Rev yours too. All UGA fans, man, we were saying, hallelujah. Oh, the SEC is ours once again. Look, everything I can't say more than what Armani said. I mean, everything he said about the guy is true. What Vincent posted about his resume is absolutely true. I mean, he's a legend in college football. But like I say, man, he is just that one guy that UGA fans just don't like seeing when we go for a championship. And the fact that we ain't got to worry about little Nicky on that sideline no more. Now, it's like Rev, it's like when you in one of those movies and it's dark all through the movie and the sunshine finally shines over the valley and it's light again. It's like, oh man, we got birds singing, all the people in the village are dancing. We are just, it's like the end of Star Wars, basically. Yeah, I mean, man, we are just happy and happy again because we know, boy, ain't nobody else stopping us, baby. The SEC is ours. Like I posted on my page yesterday, you can just rename the SEC to KFC, the Kirby Football Conference. It's ours now, baby. David Saban was the only thing standing in our way every year. And now I ain't got to worry about him. Man, Sark and Oklahoma and all these other guys. Come on. You want this smoke? Let's have it. Because Alabama and like you say, Kalen DeBoer, not worried about him. Like, dude, you coming from Washington and the Pac-12 or the Big Ten or wherever you were going, that ain't the SEC, baby. So we're going to have to give him a nice welcome to the SEC. Now, it's Alabama football. They'll eventually return. I mean, it's 12 teams in the playoffs, so Alabama ain't going to be down for long. But as of right now, UGA, baby, we are rejoicing. Hallelujah, baby. Hallelujah. Dude.
All right,
football.
Let me jump in, share some comments. Coach, you on that. Kids are transferring over a 10-piece wing and a 6-pack. Saban's got a vacation home in Northwest Georgia. If I were DeBoer, I would encourage him to go there. VP said Rev keeps a wrangle on Passtown Baptist Church Deacon Board. When Rev goes off camper, he's really going down the hall to whip those old deacons. Rev kicks in the door of the boardroom and reminds him that there's a new sheriff in town and his name is Reggie Hammond. These are not the words of Rev. These are the words of the VP. So I want anybody from Passtown seeing that, please know these are all the VP's comments, and I can't say that I approve his statement.
Oh, my God.
VP says Nick Saban set the bar so high that future Bama coaches will just be coming there to pad their pockets because they will never be able to please that Bama fan base. SEC will continue to be the kings of college football. Just to one point that VP said, and then we turn it over to Coach. In my field, typically you want to be the pastor who followed the retired great pastor, because you won't be compared to the retired great pastor. So typically that's what you want to be. So you want to be the man who followed the man who was the man. That's typically how that goes. Go ahead, Red.
Yeah, I'll go to your point. That's kind of how it worked in my church, because for years, Reverend Howard was the main guy in my church. And then the guy that came after Reverend Howard, well, let's just say the guy that came after him, what'd you say?
It didn't go too well for him.
Didn't go too well for him, but let's just say the guy after him, the guy that's there now, Reverend Smith. Oh, things are great for him. It's like it's the next coming to Reverend Howard, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would wanted to follow Reverend Howard. Just like pretty much the guy that followed you at Passtown, he might as well just go to another church. They might as well just get somebody. They might as well just let somebody. I say, let me know when the guy that follow Real is done. Then I'll come back.
And that's even true at Passtown. Like, so my dad was the one who kind of set everything straight at Passtown. He passed there for 9 years before he left to go to New York. He was the first pastor to make the church like have a full-time pastor. And then he built the house that I live in now. So his successor stayed there for 26 years, and he was able to mobilize Passtown to being a major church in the city. The guy who followed him, it was hard on him. And church went from being at its peak to at its worst under that administration. So I came back when it was at its worst. And that's why, I've been able to be the man after the man who followed the man. So it even happens in sports. It happens in sports.
No, I don't know about old Kalen. Man, Armani.
Yeah.
He might be the coach.
So, Coach, I want to talk to you about more so DeBoer, Kalen, okay? Because you're a coach. And we understand dynamics matter. So I heard he's from South Dakota, spent most of his time on the West Coast, doesn't have relationships with anybody in the South. We know the SEC traditionally runs college football. SEC schools normally have the highest ranked classes in recruiting. Do you think his profile being a Westerner will pose him any problems trying to coach a team and recruit in the South?
I mean, you look at him as a coach, you go on the fact that he's been successful wherever he's been, and it seems like he needs some. He just needs some players. Milroe, he just needs some athletes. I mean, because you look at what he had at Washington with that offense, those wideouts, that quarterback, that running back. Now, Alabama fans should understand and see if he can get the players in there, because if he can keep some players, because he already lost a big recruit and he lost a wideout that caught that pass in the Auburn game. If he can keep the players, Bond. If he can keep the players together and get him a good class, he can be successful. But it's all going to depend on how quickly he comes in, to your point, and connects with the Southern players. And, you know, if they fall in line, it's almost like Deion going to Colorado. He had to go to a different place to try to connect. And you saw the results that they were middling. There were good points and there were some bad points.
And Coach, real quickly though. But Deion has a different dynamic because he was actually Hall of Fame player who's still relevant, who could connect with the urban guys in particular.
He got cachet.
Yeah, he got cachet. Yeah. So that's the difference between him, like Kalen can't lean on that.
Yeah, the boy is gonna have to come in. He's gonna have to do like they do back in the old days and hit the Chitlin circuit, as they call it. He got to get out and make himself known very fast, because that transfer portal is coming up in April, and he's going to have to do one of the greatest selling jobs in history to try to keep those cats in Alabama to play for him. Because like you just said, you following Nick Saban, and Nick Saban has Alabama people spoiled to death, and he can't defeat that. It's going to be hard to defeat that. You know, so he's going to come in and go and really, I'd say his first month is going to be the hardest month of his coaching career, because he's going to have to come in and really convince some people to like what he does and buy into his philosophy of what he's doing. So, I mean, is it impossible? No, not impossible, but it's going to be a challenge for him, I'd say, the first month to try to get people on his side and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And he should not even mention that he's going to try to have the program to where Nick Saban has it. Don't even say his name. Don't do that, because now you really setting yourself up for failure if you even go something like 10-2 and make the playoffs and lose in the first game. Alabama folk gonna be like, no, that ain't Nick Saban there, brother. They go a little further now.
What I will say is that the boy, you go from a defensive guru to an offensive guy who, you know, the game is now a lot offensive. He's gonna have to develop some good relationships down there, but his scheme is really good. I will give him that. He can draw up some plays. I mean, the stuff I seen him doing at Washington, I was like, I watched some film last night. I watched a couple games, and I was like, he can draw up some stuff. But the thing is that, again, this is going to be his toughest. It's going to be a tough test, because he's going to have to come out here and try to relate to the southern part of the region and not the western part of the region, even though there are some great kids that come from that side. But most of your defensive guys are going to come from the South. And most of your offensive guys, such as quarterbacks, stuff like that, they're going to come from California, Texas, you know, maybe Florida. But the defense should be his number one goal, because I think if he got Milroe, if he can turn Milroe into an efficient passer, because let's not forget that Penix was also a Milroe spot. And Penix learned through injury and through DeBoer said, rumor has it, DeBoer said, look, you're going to have to become a passer in this system to be successful. So, you know, this is going to be a tough task.
Let me jump in there right quick.
Yes, sir.
I think what you said is very valid in terms of Mr. Kalen being able to draw plays, I think he's going to have to really consider a philosophy change. Pac-12 football is more finesse. SEC football is more physical. You saw what Michigan, this year's Michigan team, resembled more like an SEC team.
Yep.
And you saw what the physicality did to the finesse. And Washington had some studs on offense because at the end of the day, you have those studs on as wideouts at the quarterback position, but you don't have those big guys up front.
The trenches.
All that stuff won't matter. So here's the biggest question. Can Kalen move from being more finesse to coaching more physical style of football? Because currently constructed, Alabama's physical. They have it in place. Can he coach that? Can he build on that?
You got to adapt
and have a blend. So that's going to be, I think, the most interesting thing. And then it's going to be hard because when he was at Washington, there were no coaches besides Lincoln Riley who had like a cachet, and Lincoln Riley's cachet is dwindling because of the failed season that USC had and what they were preparing for.
Yeah.
Here he is now in the SEC with Kirby instantly becomes the Saban of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 championships. Then you got the offensive guru, Lane Kiffin. Then you got Steve Sarkisian, who's building up his brand again. Then you got Brian Kelly at LSU. All of those guys' brands are bigger and brighter than Kalen's right now. So will he be able to out-recruit those brands? That's going to be interesting. Alabama in itself is one of the top brands in the SEC. I would say now that Saban left, Georgia's brand becomes instantly the top brand in the SEC because Kirby is a 2-time college football champion, right? So Kirby instantly becomes the dean of coaches in the SEC. And then Brian Kelly, I think, would be right behind him. Lane Kiffin and Sarkisian would be right there. And then you got Kalen, because the question will also be, is what he did at Washington sustainable? Can he do it with different recruiting classes? Or was he like a Gene Shiznick who achieved because he had a Cam Newton? And then once he left, he was
same with Pete Carroll.
Well, Pete Carroll did it over a couple of. I mean, Pete, I think, succeeded by showing us he can coach in the NFL.
Yeah,
he wasn't there long enough for USC to have another.
No, yeah, that's what I was saying in the college. Yeah. I got what you're saying. Yeah.
All right, Red, wrap it up for us. What you got?
Rev, you wrapped it up perfectly. I guess I'll finish it up by saying, like you say, it's gonna be hard to follow the legend. Kalen, I definitely agree about the physicality and the finesse comparison as far as the Pac-12 and the SEC. And like I say, we got our own brand coaches over here. So yeah, where does he fit on the totem pole? And you, like you say, Rev, Caleb, you're the new guy. You understand? You're the new guy in the SEC. And I tell you, Rev, I can't wait to hear his press conference when SEC Media Day comes. Because now you're, like you say, all the other coaches, we've been here a while. You are the new guy, Caleb. You're coaching a legendary team, but you're still the new guy. How you gonna fit in? Like Rev said, might be your doing or undoing in the SEC. How you fit in? How you gonna recruit? And can you go from one recruiting class to the next? With the Neil situation, can you go from one player to the next? Yeah, because you're gonna have maybe year from year, you know. So we're gonna see if you're ready for the big boy stage. Mr. What's his last name again? Armani?
DeBoer.
We're gonna see if you're ready for the big boy stage, Mr. Bob, because you are definitely gonna be challenged and tested at the highest level over here. So good luck. But you follow, like Rev said, you're following a legend, and like I said, you ain't coming to the SEC. You coming to KFC. And if you don't watch out, you might be fried chicken, baby. Because Kirby and my bulldog, we gonna eat, baby. Woo, 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 woo. Hey, Real, I am glad you gave me the last word. Woo, woo, woo.
All right, Maceo heard from the Crush. What's up, Maceo? Chiming, he will, saying Caleb be all right because he will be able to recruit better athletes in Alabama in the trenches. Those big bodies not going out west. Bama will be just fine with a more explosive offense. We'll see. Good afternoon to you, Jerome Case. Vincent Woodruff said Caleb will realize that the types of recruits he's about to come across will be like a fat kid in a candy store. It'd be interesting to watch. The president said Kirby fried chicken. And the VP said Red Rose is awake now. His dealer has delivered.
I've been here the whole morning.
All right, man. We're going to go to the NCAA picks, and then we'll hit halftime, and then we'll do football on the other side. We have something that has never happened. Never happened in pick'ems, challenges, in NCAA, and NFL. Never has happened. People are wondering, what are you saying, Rev? That has never happened. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the NCAA Picks Challenge is
nobody.
We have a tie.
What?
We have co-champions for the very first time in NCAA Pick'em Challenge. It hurt my heart to say that. I wanted to throw it out and say we just won't have a champion. But we saw the first tiebreaker was going to be the point spread. Unfortunately, both Coach and Armani picked the losing team. So we can't put a point spread on a losing team in the college championship. So if you look at this, and y'all make me do more work, I'll be taking tips from Armani and Coach after the show for doing this hard work, going back, getting the research. If you see it, the way we pick who won the week is off the record. Coach had the best record out of all of us picking 4 times. Armani had the best record 4 times. And they got credit for tying on several weeks as well. So our Pick'em Challenge winners are Coach and Armani. I can't play Celebrate Good Times for a tie. I'm sorry. Couldn't do it.
That's fair.
You know, Rev, I gotta beat. I say with a tie, the trophy should go back to the previous winner. Since neither one of these guys could really unseat me solo, you know, it should go back to the previous winner, the previous back-to-back winner. So look, Coach and Armani, you blow it. You blow it. Neither one of you guys could win it outright. So look, I am the official winner again. I had a few weeks where I won on there too. So look, I'm taking my trophy back. So neither one of you guys can win it outright.
Whatever makes you feel better, man. Whatever makes you feel better.
So you finished last and you want the trophy back. What kind of logic is that?
The president said, see, next season, one of you will go with my upset special. If I'm Armani Newsom, a.k.a. Lieutenant Sonar, a.k.a. XO, a.k.a. XO, I will ask for an audit. Congratulations, Coach and Lieutenant Sonar. You should split the trophy in half. Coach can have the bottom half of the Heisman, and Lieutenant Sonar could take the head and the stiff arm. The president said, Red, for your hearing, the president said Red is sounding real Trumpish right now.
Well, never mind then. I take it back. I ain't trying to sound like Bobby yet.
Jerome said Red made them write a 100-word essay on why they should be considered the winner.
I got enough homework. I'm not doing that.
The president said Red is saying turn the machines back on. Trading places.
Yep, that's exactly how I feel, man. I want to recap.
Rev, I will concede to Armani.
No, ain't no conceding, man. Y'all got a time. All one of y'all had to do is have enough guts to take Michigan like I did.
Right. Somebody, y'all should have never took the same team. That's what it was. Somebody should have said,
J. Cole
go out.
Said it in a song. Pride is the devil. My pride couldn't take Michigan.
Because they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Well, that's the first time we have them in pick history. So, congratulations, co-winners.
Yeah, hey, Real. That's Georgia Tech and Colorado in here.
Yeah, exactly. 1990 co-champs. All right, gentlemen. Well, it's halftime of the Red and Rev Sports Show. Feel free to give the co-champs some kudos. That just feels nasty saying co-champs. Feels nasty.
Well, Rev, at least we won our championship outright. We're not the co-champ.
For sure.
These guys
okay, here we go.
It's
I
halftime.
won before. You talking about just you and him? I won before.
Well, that's the COVID.
He's won one COVID championship. Yeah. All right, we've talked a lot about college football on the other side. It's a lot of pro football, Falcon football. We'll be making our playoff picks coming up in just a moment. Stick with us for the second half of the Red and Rev Sports. We'll be right back.
Here.
And we are back on the Red and Rev Sports Show. Halftime is officially over, and now we jump into some pro football talk. Jerome K said, co-champ is a dirty word. The president calls them the asterisk champions. Jerome K said we can sell it, go in alphabetical order by last name. That would make Armani the champion since he is Newsom and Coach Thomas. Lieutenant Sonar citing Proverbs 8:13 for his reason on his picks, along with Proverbs 11:2. Come on, put those in the quote right now, Mr. VP, so we know what those verses say. All right, let's get ready to rock and roll. And again, congrats to the co/asterisk champions, Coach Patrick Thomas and Red Rose. Coach Patrick Thompson and Armani. Armani, big ups to you, man. Second year doing picks, and you got him a little championship. Yeah. But wait till we get these NFL picks.
I don't even want to look at that. I don't even want to look at it.
Wait till we get to that NFL, baby. I was my hands were lifted up when I saw the new standings. And people will see why in just a moment. All right. Let's go to our next topic. It was Black Monday. We knew some coaches had already been fired during the course of the season. You had Frank Reich, who was fired during the season from the Carolina Panthers. You had Josh McDaniels, who was fired by the Denver Broncos during the course of the season. I'm sorry, Josh McDaniels was fired by the Rams, the Las Vegas Raiders. Please forgive me for that. Then when the clock struck midnight, Mr. Arthur Blank said, I ain't waiting until the sun comes up. I'm getting rid of Arthur, Red calls him Awful Smith, at midnight. So, Red, I'm going to start with you real quickly. Tell us what you felt first when it became official that Arthur Smith would no longer be the coach, and then give us a little insight of what you're feeling about this coaching search.
Well, I feel like I've been talking about this all week now. Man, Real, I should kind of feel like the Oscars. We talk about topics all week, and by the time we get to our show, it's the last show of the week. We got to talk about them again, but let me get my juices revved back up again. I felt relieved. I felt rejuvenated. I felt just revived again as far as Falcon football, because we got one of the problems out the door. We got a lot of problems, but one of the main problems is now not a problem anymore. As Mr. Blank, I call him Vito now, because he looked like an old bootleg Vito Corleone. He think he the Godfather. So you want to be the Godfather, I call you the Godfather. Well, anyway, Vito decided to whack Arthur Smith at the strike of midnight. Good, because he deserved to be fired. His tenure was terrible. His coaching was terrible. His play calling was terrible. And bottom line, he was terrible. But what drove Falcon fans, you made Falcon fans happy in one spirit, but then you made them upset again after you had that awful press conference. Vito and Tooth Decay had the awful press conference the next day, minus the so-called GM Terry Fontenot, who was back at Flowery Branch mowing the lawn and washing cars. I guess he didn't have time. He had to get the facilities clean. So Arthur Blank, Vito, and Tooth Decay decided to have a press conference and just go over the state of the Falcons. And that did not, and for once, the Atlanta media didn't take no prisoners. For once, the Atlanta media acted like some media that had asked some intelligent questions. So Vito and Tooth Decay were unprepared for the tough Atlanta media, and just made our whole team, just embarrassed the whole team with the lack of structure, lack of stability, and lack of understanding of what it takes to have a winning football team together. So anyway, this is another coat for Falcon fans that have to deal with these two morons as we embark on another coaching search. Hopefully they get a coach that has the cachet to tell these two guys to back off and let them do their job. That seems to, like Rev mentioned earlier in the show, Arthur Blank is becoming a liability to his own team, which I agree, because he is a major problem. The thing is, he tries to make so many football decisions, and he does not know anything about football. You don't know football, Mr. Blank. I don't know who told you think you know football, dude. You are not a football expert. You are just the owner of a team. You can afford to buy a football team, but that don't mean you can afford to learn the football game. You haven't, not since 2002, baby. You have not gained any knowledge in the football game because you keep making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. So personally, I would prefer you to take a step back and stay away from the daily football operations. I'm tired of hearing you talking at the press conference. We should not be listening to our owner decide every football move that we make. What in the world do you hire people for? What you paying Tooth Decay for? What you paying the team president for? What you paying Terry's butt for? Huh? Why are you paying these guys if you're not going to allow them to do their job, Mr. Blank? Do us all a favor. Go to the golf course. Go on your yacht. Go hang out with your girlfriend. Go up to your office. Just stay out of the way and let your football people make football decisions so we can hire the right coach. Lord, now I'm here. You want to slurp Belichick because you want Belichick running things. Once again, not a good move. Belichick is past his prime. Most coaches who have that much success in one organization, they usually don't have it with the next organization. So I don't know why these silly Falcon fans thinking, oh, because he won 6 championships in New England, now all of a sudden he's going to come to Atlanta and now we magically a championship contender. No, it don't work like that. You forgot he had a quarterback. You forgot he had a little time to put his defense together. Bill Belichick coming to the Falcons is not going to solve our problems, okay? It's probably going to make the problems worse. So I'm not going to endorse Bill Belichick. I'll endorse Jim Harbaugh. I'll endorse Brian Callahan. But I'm not going to endorse a coach who I feel that's going to make the situation worse. So, like I say, Falcon fans, we're looking for another coach again, but I would prefer that Arthur Blank stay out of the business. Belichick has much in the, yeah, you're right. So, Belichick is not a good idea. He is in his 70s. Rev said if you're going to hire a guy in his 70s, hire Pete Carroll. Personally, I don't want any coach in his 70s, okay? I don't want a coach in his 70s. And personally, I want Vito to stay away. I want Tooth Decay to stay away. I would prefer Terry. Let Terry go out and do his job. But I ain't going to hold my breath. They're going to allow that to happen. But anyway, Falcons, we need big changes. And Arthur Blank backing off needs to be changed, number 1. Finding the right coach needs to be changed, number 2. And Tooth Decay running the business side of the team and not the football side of the team needs to be number 3. So find us a coach that can handle these two morons that's trying to sit on his vulture all day and let the GM do some GMing, okay? So I don't want to stress myself out too much talking about the Falcons because they are just a stressful team. But anyway, I'm gonna let Rev and some of the Armani get their thoughts on the Falcons. But anyway, Falcons, you gotta do better. Arthur, you becoming a liability to the team. Vito and Tooth Decay, stay away and let's have some positive changes for once. Okay.
Coach got his Baptist finger up. So what you got, Coach?
Well, I got a breaking news that just came across the wire that's not related to this. The Steelers and Bills game been postponed to Monday.
Wow.
Because of the weather at 4:30. It's been postponed.
Okay. Obviously, Coach is a Steelers fan. That's why I had to be pressing that we talk about it right now.
I just came across, I was looking at the TV and it just popped across. I'm like, what?
Well, that means a lot of snow is falling in Buffalo. So
yeah. When Jim Cantore come to your place, you might want to leave because that's weather destroyer right there.
All right, man. So Armani, we do a lot of chatting back and forth in our DM during the course of the week. We kind of know sometimes our positions when a story comes out. Sometimes our positions remain the same. Sometimes our positions change. Now, I know as of our last exchanges, you were kind of open as a Falcons fan to Belichick being the next coach of the Atlanta Falcons. You heard Red emphatically say, we don't need any Belichick. Are you still holding your same position? Have you shifted? What are your thoughts on the coaching search?
I'm kind of torn because it's like Belichick is a proven winner. I will say that. The way he handled Matt Jones in the last couple of years wasn't good, because let's not forget, Matt Jones was a Pro Bowl All-Pro his rookie year or his second year, one of those years. So, but it's kind of like, what do we want? So you want a proven head coach? Okay, you got Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, and Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh could very well stay in Michigan. He has not come out and said that he's coming to the NFL. Let's just say he's out. You got Pete Carroll, who was also 71 years old, or 72. He's up there, same age as him. Belichick and Saban, same age. He's talking about taking a front office position. He's not sure if he wants to coach. So let's say he's out. The only person available is Bill Belichick. He's the only person that is available for a proven head coach. I've been hearing proven head coach. Okay, if you don't want that, you want a coordinator. You got Ben Johnson, my boy, the DC from Baltimore, the OC from the Bengals. The only person that really his resume looks like he's worth even taking a look at is Callahan, who is the OC at the Bengals, because Ben Johnson hasn't coached long enough. He has a similar resume as Arthur Smith when we hired him. He's only been a coordinator for 1 year. He's another quality control guy. And, you got the DC from Baltimore, who spent time in Michigan, spent time in Baltimore. But do you want a defensive guy who you're going to have to get a quarterback? And the quarterback is now, as we know, a pass-first league. So it's kind of like, what are the options? We don't have that. We don't have as many options as we think. And, that's why I say I'm kind of torn, because it's like, okay, Belichick, he can come here, if he can come in and say, you know what, I think I can get this roster. I think we can get a Super Bowl in about 2 years to 3 years. Okay. I mean, he's not going to be a long-term solution, because, again, he's 72 years old. But if the plan is to win right now, I'm open to it. But if the plan is to go with a coordinator who is this will be a first-time head coach, then it'll be Callahan, in my opinion. So, we don't have that many options. I think at this point you need to trade from 8 to 1 to ensure yourself a top quality quarterback, and the Caleb Williams or Jane Daniels or Drake May. But I'm torn, so I don't have a one side of the spectrum or the other, because it can go either way. So, we'll see. But I mean, as of right now, to me, looking at resume, it'll be Belichick or it'll be Callahan.
All right, I'm going to chime in real quickly. When you're dealing with these kind of things, you got to look at your pecking order. If I'm the Falcons, the pecking order would be proven head coach, NFL coach, first and foremost, because ever since Dan Reeves, none of the first-time head coaches that they hired who were coordinators were here for a very long time. So that's why I would go proven head coach. That would be primary. Therefore, number one on the list, hands down, would be Jim Harbaugh. What I do know is you hire Harbaugh, in 2 to 3 years, your team will be competitive. Mm-hmm. He's already done it on the pro level. The San Francisco 49ers were in worse shape than the Falcons are right now when he was the coach of the San Francisco 49ers. And he made that team a Super Bowl contending team and lost on a controversial play in the end zone to his brother's Baltimore Ravens. So number one, hands down, would be Jim Harbaugh. Now, if Harbaugh's not in the equation because he decides to stay at Michigan, that should be the only reason unless he just outright says no. I'll be throwing the farm to Harbaugh right now.
I agree.
I'll be throwing the farm. All right, so that's number one. So if Harbaugh can't come, I'm not rolling with Belichick because if you look at Janet Jackson, she said, "What have you done for me lately?" He's done a lot of losing for us lately. All right, he can't relate to these urban kids. All right, he doesn't like guys being on social media. He doesn't like guys making themselves available to the media. That's not going to fly in an entertainment town like Atlanta. Plus, he's been a sub 500 coach or below 500 coach without Tom Brady. We know Tom Brady ain't dipping into the fountain of youth and coming with them. So he shouldn't even be in the equation. All right. Pete Carroll's a motivator, but we got to look to the future. Let Pete continue to cheer in Seattle. So now that means you can't get what you wanted at first if Harbaugh says, "No, I can't come. I'm not coming." So then you got to go to coordinator. So you get a proven coordinator. Now, the number one person on my list would be somebody who spent time on the red clay. And this guy who's only been with the Ravens for 1 year, but we've seen this man got a championship DNA.
Oh, okay.
2 chips as the play caller with the Bulldogs. Lamar Jackson, who was losing relevancy, becomes the MVP. Todd Monken would be on speed dial right now to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I know he would know what to do with Kyle Pitts. I know he would know what to do with Drake London. I know he would know what to do with Bijan Robinson. And even if we have a decent quarterback, I know he will be able to scheme so well that the quarterback won't be as much of a liability. And if worse came to worse, even though we need to draft a quarterback, if worse came to worse, I know he can at least do something with Ritter, where Ritter will be better than what he was last year. That's what I know. So that's where I would be hanging my hat right now, Monken to Atlanta.
I didn't know Monken was available, but if he's available, I didn't know he was available.
Well, he got to be. He's the offensive coordinator. He can take a step up.
Yeah.
He's interviewing for jobs, so he's available.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know he was interviewing for jobs. Okay.
Yeah, the Chargers interviewed him yesterday, I think.
Yeah, Todd Monken would definitely be my first choice. All right, Coach, you're not a Falcons fan, so you don't have a dog in this race. So from the outside looking in, what do you think the Falcons should do?
Try not to laugh too hard.
You scratch Harbaugh because like you said, I think Michigan or somebody else gonna throw a lot of money at him. If it was my number 2 choice, I go with Ben Johnson for the Lions. My gosh, have you seen what he did with Jared Goff? Resurrected his career with the Lions.
That's
with those weapons he got.
All over it.
With those weapons he got, Laporta came out of nowhere, all pro. Amon-Ra St. Brown, those running backs. That he's done a lot with that offense for Detroit. No, Detroit wasn't an offensive squad. They weren't that good, but he's come up and made them a very potent offense. Now Laporta's out for the season with an injury, but still, Detroit is scoring points. And Detroit ain't never been no team that can just go out there. You wasn't worried about them putting up no points to beat you. Maybe a little defensive wise, but Ben Johnson, I'm seeing what he's doing, and he's been there for a minute. He knows the NFL. I would look for him to get a call at some point for what he did, because like I said, Antonio, you need to think first before you talk about sabotage. I ain't trying to sabotage anybody. First of all, Ben Johnson, how many points is Detroit averaging a game? Antonio, I need you to look that up, and then you get back to me and tell me what he's doing with the offense.
Hold on, Coach. Let me go to Armani, because when you brought up Ben Johnson's name, Armani immediately went to the shaking his head ministry. So Armani, you said, I caught your comment, that's basically Arthur Smith 2.0. Why you feel that way?
He's had 1 year being the coordinator. Just one. Arthur Smith, before we hired him, 1 year as a coordinator. Don't get me wrong. I think Ben Johnson will eventually be good enough to be a head coach. But right now, it's kind of like, Jared Goff was not a terrible quarterback. It's kind of like when Arthur Smith took over in Tennessee, Tannehill wasn't a terrible quarterback. They got weapons. So, I mean, I understand that, Ben Johnson's getting all the noise, but he need to establish building his resume as a coordinator first and then try and head coach. We've been down this road already, and it didn't work. 1 year as a coordinator, then you want to jump up after 1 year to be a head coach? Nah, we tried that.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, I didn't see your reaction. Did you approve for them to go after Todd Monken?
Yeah.
How many years has he been a coordinator?
Yeah, but Todd Monken has.
How many years?
Let me explain.
Go ahead.
Todd Monken has championship pedigree as a coordinator
in college,
and he brought that over to the Ravens, and he's about to have an MVP quarterback yet again.
Hadn't Lamar Jackson been an MVP before?
Yes,
but not recently, Coach.
Okay, I'm not saying that. But you say, okay, so you're talking about college transferring to the NFL. How many times have we seen that not work?
But we've seen it, to your point, but we've seen it instantly work with Todd Monken. The man left winning 2 championships. Was Baltimore a juggernaut on offense?
No, they didn't have any receivers.
Have they become a juggernaut now?
Yeah, they got the right people in place, the right receivers.
Lamar's gonna win the MVP.
And the right what? Scheme.
And they won outright the AFC regular season. So to your point, you're right with only 1 year. But Monken has worked in the NFL before, but he's only been an offensive coordinator
with
for the
Tampa Bay. Yeah.
So, but it's like, what have you done for me lately? Well, this is what I've done for you lately. If you want me to go to college, I'll win you 2 championships. If you want me to come to pros, I'll get you a player who's going to be the MVP.
And possibly
who was talking about Lamar Jackson being the top quarterback in the NFL before the season started? Last year, we're talking about if Baltimore even wanted to keep him.
So Monken could come in and get Atlanta to winning with Ritter as the quarterback.
He knows how to scheme.
He can scheme, but the thing is,
hold on. Remember, this same man who won 2 college championships with Stetson Bennett. And then he showed us he could scheme with Lamar Jackson. So he's shown us his range. Now, folk might not say much about Stetson because he didn't do it in the pros. That's a fair point, but we've seen he knows how to do. He's a smart guy. Let's just put it that way. Let's even look at it. He lost the team's best receiver in Baltimore this year, Andrews, the tight end. Didn't skip a beat. So what we do know is the man knows how to scheme.
What was Detroit's record last year?
They weren't terrible.
I think 9-7. They were 9-7.
Right at the verge of making the playoffs last year.
So
there was no surprise. Nobody was surprised about Detroit's advancing this year. Everybody considered them to be the division winner for their division. So what? The only surprise was them beating Kansas City on opening night. But people expected Detroit to be good this year. I mean, I know that for a fact. I visited Detroit several times, and folk were all geeked about the Lions season.
Coach, you gotta equivalent this to like Robin Williams winning an Emmy with Mork and Mindy, and then he went to the movie screen and won an Oscar for Good Will Hunting. I mean, the man proved he can do it. I'm talking as far as Monkey. He proved he can do it both places. I can do it in college with Stetson Bennett, and we know Stetson ain't nowhere on Lamar territory. And then he went to the NFL and took a guy who's already been established and about to give him his second MVP season. So that's the comparison I'm saying. Somebody going from TV to the big screen and establishing themselves. Well, I can say Will Smith too. Let's take Will Smith, Fresh Prince, and then he established himself with 6 degrees of separation, Bad Boys, and Independence Day. That's Monkey. He did it with the little man, Stetson Bennett, who ain't nobody thinking gonna be a great quarterback. But then he go to the NFL and take a guy who we all believe is gonna be a great Hall of Fame quarterback, and he make him the MVP again. Make him the MVP. The man can do it on both levels. Offensive wise, I think he's an offensive guru. Like Rev said, I think he can scheme both sides. I need to look up the Baltimore rankings, but I definitely, Todd Monken was the higher. I would definitely not poo-poo that, because that man can work with seemingly any receivers. He definitely knows how to build his line in the trenches, knows how to get a good running game. Passing, I mean, he's balanced. He's a balanced offensive guy, and he seems to be able to work with all types of quarterbacks. So if you're missing offense and if you need help on offense, that may be the guy to go with.
I think Antonio Henderson makes a great point where he says, I think it's the fact that most successful college schemes are making their way to the NFL level anyway. That's a great point. That's a great point.
And then I'm looking at, again, Ben Johnson's resume. He had 1 year with the quarter. We need somebody that can come in and coach the quarterback too. He has 1 year, 10 years ago, coaching the quarterback. One, as an assistant quarterback's coach. We need somebody that can come in and coach the quarterback. Most of your successful offensive coordinators in the NFL now can coach the quarterback. They have a history of coaching quarterbacks. Ben Johnson doesn't have that.
And he's
Go ahead, Coach.
Ben Johnson, he started in 2022. Before that, his year before that, he threw for 3,200 yards. Last year, he threw for 4,438 yards. Improved from 19 touchdowns to 28 touchdowns, 29. This year, he had 30 touchdowns. There's an improvement somewhere. I mean, but I'm not saying Monken is wrong. I'm just saying I'm looking at Ben Johnson as a candidate as well. I ain't saying wrong or right.
Let me ask you this, Coach. What was Ben Johnson's claim to fame before becoming offensive coordinator for the Lions this year?
He was dealing with the quarterbacks, I believe. I'm not sure.
For the Lions,
passing game coordinator, tight ends coach, offensive quality control, wide receivers, assistant wide receivers coach, tight ends, assistant quarterbacks coach, 2013, offensive assistant, tight ends coach, graduate assistant. He has no long history of being a quarterbacks coach.
So I would be fearful if I'm the Falcons, because he's had one strong year, and I would need to see that again.
Yep.
I would just need to see some level of sustainability. Yes, Monken only did it in 1 year in Baltimore, but we see what he did in college at the highest level was sustainable. And I think that's the key that we have to remember, that Monken did it on the highest level in college football. Don't get no higher than winning national championships.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a funny question right now. Watch this, Rev. Red, this is for you. If Monken did what he did in college and it wasn't Georgia, would you push him?
It wasn't Georgia?
Yeah. Would you push him?
Meaning, like, if he did it for like USC or something, still had
Oklahoma or somebody,
and he still went to the championship and won it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then came to the pros, and the quarterback that he working with in the pros was about to win the MVP. I would have to say, dude, there's a look at. You have to consider him, even though, it seems like I'm biased now because he won the 2 from Georgia. But I'm still looking at what he did in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. You see what I'm saying? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, was Lamar Jackson that bad a quarterback?
No, it's the thing that here's the thing. Lamar Jackson, he based off talent, he won the MVP in 2018. When was it? 2019? The year before COVID, right? Let's think about it. They were thinking about possibly getting rid of Lamar Jackson. They say that he was never available. Lamar Jackson possibility was available. He was an unrestricted free agent. Then they realized, okay, if we're going to keep Lamar, we have to bring in somebody that can elevate his game with the scheme, because he's a phenomenal athlete, but we need somebody that can come in and help him with this passing game. So they brought in Todd Monken, and now he's on his way to winning another MVP. Again, Lamar Jackson was a great athlete, but now he's became even a more efficient passer.
All right, so let's start wrapping it up. So at the end of the day, Brad, who's your number one choice to be named head coach?
Well, of course, I'm sure everybody agrees Harbaugh is the number one choice. But if we can't get Harbaugh, then I'm with either Brian Callahan or Todd Monken, one of those, because those guys will fit the mold that we've been doing the past years. They'd be coordinators, they will be first-time head coaches, and no matter those two guys, no matter what the interference is from veto and tooth decay, I think they would just be focused on doing their job as getting the offense improved and put together. They wouldn't be worried about what's going on behind the scenes and in the front of it. They would be strictly focused on coaching up the offense and doing their jobs. Monken and Callahan would be focused on the offense, and if they want to leave the defensive guys in place because they prevented them from going to interview this week, then fine, leave Ryan Nielsen in place, let him run the defense, let Callahan and Monken run the offense. And I think Falcons, even though we still got two knuckleheads in the front office, I think we'll be on the way back to respectability.
Armani, you agree with Red, or you got another direction?
No, I agree. Like I said, I didn't know Monken was even interviewing for head coaching positions. But if Monken is available, Harbaugh, Monken, and Callahan. Again, had I known that, Monken probably would have been number one, assuming that Harbaugh would not leave Michigan. But but yeah, if Harbaugh, Monken, then Callahan.
Coach, who should the coach be?
Harbaugh, Johnson, or I almost wanted to say, and he's a proven head coach, but he's not the offensive guy that they need. I almost want to throw in Raheem Morris, but he's not that offensive guy. He's more toward defense.
And plus they had a chance to make him the head coach.
Yeah.
And if they would go back and hire him, then that would show that they made a mistake not hiring him in the first place. So that's why Raheem Morris can't even be in consideration. All right, gentlemen, let's do this. We know other coaches have been fired. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. We know Washington has a vacancy now. Seattle has a vacancy now. And let's just address them next week because time has moved on. We spent a lot of time on the Falcons, rightfully so, because we're more of an Atlanta-based sports talk show. So, of course, we're going to pay more attention to the Atlanta base. So let's go to our 5 for 5 topic. I'm sorry, not halftime. 5 for 5. This is the time where we address 5 different topics. And each of the panelists will have 45 seconds. And then they'll have 1 minute. Since Armani's screen continues to freeze up, when we do single shot, we're just going to do full shots. So, gentlemen, when I raise my hand like that, y'all can see that?
Yeah.
That means you got 15 seconds. All right, Rev Nation, you can feel free to put whatever comments you have pertaining to the subject matter at hand. After the panelists have gone, we'll go into your comments, and then we'll move to the next topic. Red, you had something you want to say before we start?
Oh, no, I was doing the 5 for 5 thing.
Oh, okay, you're doing 5 for 5. I hadn't seen that before. Okay. All right, so the VP says, cue the Lunatics. So we will listen to what the VP has to say. Let's get started. First topic at hand. And we'll start with Coach. Dodgers spend $1 billion in free agency. World Series or bust. What says you, Coach? Go.
Dave Roberts, you unfortunately are on the clock. I feel sorry for you because if you don't get this thing in the World Series, even at so much fun, I don't know if you had to win it, but just get them there. They're going to be looking for a new head coach. Simple as that.
Armani, jump in there.
Yeah, when you spend that amount of money, it's World Series or bust, man. You can't bring in all those stars and then spend all that money just to go, to the NIL or AL championship. So, yeah, you got to get to the World Series.
Red, go.
Well, it's probably gonna be bust then because look, man, the Dodgers do this every year. They get money happy. They just go out and think they can just buy a championship. They've been trying to do this for years and years and years, and they still ain't won a championship in front of fans since 1988. Okay, so you got Ohtani, you got Freddie, you got Mookie, you got the other Asian pitcher, you got Glasnow from the Rays. You're signing everybody in their mama. And guess what? The Braves are still number one in the power rankings. Number one Dodgers. So take that and eat it. Braves still number one, baby. So we'll see you. We'll be sitting right here waiting to hate on your great free agency. But Braves ain't got to spend $1 billion. And that's it. Go Braves.
All right. The president says basically for the Dodgers, it's all or nothing. Correction, Armani, just going to the World Series ain't enough. Bro Dana, welcome to the show. The only thing the Dodgers are winning is their division. The VP said, bust indeed. They are up themselves from years ago, 2020. And Antonio Henderson said, Armani's screen freezes up every time that ghost starts playing that baby grand piano in the background.
Hey, stop playing.
Wow, Antonio, your first appearance and you cracking on the piano.
Hey, stop playing. Hey, I'm here by myself.
On to the next subject matter at hand. Whitlock versus Stephen A. Smith. They've been feuding back and forth, taking rips at each other's careers. What says you about the sports journalists' clapbacks? What you got, Armani? Go.
Man, this is too. Whitlock has always been. He's Whitlock is like one of those guys. He gonna poke at you and poke at you and poke at you. He's just there to cause chaos. That's what he's there for. And Stephen A. Smith just reacted, and that's natural for Stephen A. Smith to just react. With nobody likes Jason Whitlock. Nobody. You talking about the same guy that said rich African Americans don't experience racism like poor African Americans. That is the most ridiculous statement I've heard in a long time. He makes these claims, but he's just trying to be relevant. So it's Stephen A. Smith. You just keep doing what you're doing. Don't pay Whitlock no mind.
Red, jump in there.
Let me piggyback off on money. Last two comments. It's Stephen A. Keep doing what you're doing. And why are you paying Jason Fatlock any mind, man? For real. I mean, the vitriol in Stephen A's response this week. Man, I ain't seen his paying. I'm glad ESPN has censors, man. Don't tell them what Stephen A was saying on first date. But still, I don't think I would have let Jason Whitlock got me that upset, especially if I'm Stephen A being in the position that he's in. But hey, it was very entertaining to listen to these guys. I think Rev Cat Williams is starting a thing in 2024. You talk about me, you come at me, I'm coming for you. You send one of mine to the hospital, I'm sending two of yours to the morgue, baby. That's right. Everybody being exposed in 2024.
Coach, jump in there.
Stephen A. Smith works for ESPN. Jason Whitlock works for Blaze Media. End of story. Game, set, match.
All right. The VP said if that baby grand starts playing we would see Armani Newsom's exodus like Moses' people from Egypt.
Yeah, better stop playing.
Anthony Ray said Whitlock is a bum. The president said Skip Bayless is chuckling in the background. VP said, why do these professionals continue to give fat back Whitlock the time of day? Dog howls at the moon all of the time. The moment the moon howls back, the dog becomes relevant. Whitlock, G says, is a habitual line stepper. Jerome Cage says, Whit Leach is playing for this relevance for his dying show.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is using the Cat Williams energy to his benefit. The Dixon Way says, and what's up, Dixon Way? Thanks for tuning in and check out their podcast on YouTube. Whitlock has been an uncle. Ruckus. Just ignore him and keep it pushing. Antonio Anderson said, good comparison, coach. The Dixon Way says Whitlock not worth it on all accounts.
At all. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
VP said Fat Whitlock, a.k.a. Uncle Ruckus. What's up, Horace? Glad to have you, man.
What up, Horace? What up, Larry?
And the VP said, you beat me to it, Dixon. All right, on to the next topic at hand. There's some basketball news. Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers has signed a new deal. He signed an extension, 3 years, $152.4 million to continue to play with the Los Angeles Clippers. What says you, Red? What you got?
I felt this had to be a deal that was gonna get done. With the whispers of Paul George probably leaving in the offseason, you had to go on ahead and lock up one of your main superstars, especially with the new stadium opening up next season. So you're at least guaranteed that you'll have at least 2 stars going into your new stadium. You'll have Kawhi and you'll have Leonard. In the future, I'm sure Westbrook will go ahead and stay 2, so you'll probably have 3. So it was a necessary deal that really surprised anyone. Kawhi looks like he's the number 1 top dog for the Clippers right now, and they're opening up a new stadium soon. And business is business, baby.
Coach, jump in there.
Well, Kawhi is showing that the best availability is durability. He's been playing all year so far, so good. And the Clippers say, hey, if he can continue to do that, then why not keep him around? He's staying healthy, and that's going to be the issue with him going forward. His health, as far as playing a whole season. If he can stay healthy, he's gonna be worth every penny. But that's the thing, his health. They don't want his situation to pop up where he falls apart and sprains and get a hangnail, and then he's out for 3 weeks.
Armani, jump in there.
Good move. Good move. The only thing is, Kawhi will miss a few games, but if Kawhi can be healthy and George can be healthy and they get a little bit of productivity from the Westbrook guy, then they'll be fine. It's a good move. Plus, Kawhi's at home, so I think he's gonna finish off his career there.
All 4 of them at home.
Horace says his agent is gold. The VP said he's hedging that travel around the world in 80 days. Harden and Pauline George will be there with them. The Dixon Way says Kawhi is the most underrated player of this generation due to his health. Jerome says Clipper just like throwing away money for a player who will not be available when it counts. But go on and cook, Kawhi. Get that paper. Antonio Henderson, he said he's laughing to the bank. Literally, you heard his laugh. Horace said he should give Stephen A. Smith the middle finger as he's always hating. Okay, it looks like he's going on Whitlock's side. Good morning, Veronica. Glad to have you. And VP said $50 million a season. Let's see if he can get a haircut. What's the age limit on men's braids? I'm just saying. All right, man. Yeah. Let's go on to something that was brought to light last week. Jameis Winston led the New Orleans Saints during the victory formation, but they didn't kneel like the victory formation normally calls for. They run a play. So one of the running backs can get his first touchdown with the New Orleans Saints for the season. We know that people like Shannon Sharp said what he did should have got him cut from the team. What says you, Coach, as we go back to you?
That's a Bush League move altogether. The Falcons, and when you set them in victory formation, the entire place says, okay, they're going to kneel on the ball. That's it, ball game. And I've heard some people said the Falcons should have stopped them. How you going to stop something you don't know that's coming? You see somebody getting that formation, and you say game over, do your little congratulatory push at the line, whistle blows, clock run, but they run a play and catch you off guard. That was totally a Bush League move. And Winston not gonna get cut. He gonna still be there, but that was kind of classist in my opinion.
Armani, jump in there.
I kind of believe it or not, I had a similar situation about before the football season ended when I called something and one of my players decided they wouldn't kneel the ball. And me, as the coach, I was like, you do that again, you're going to be sitting beside me. So, I mean, at this point, it's like, Jameis, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, come on, man. Like, why? Just do what coach says. That was not necessary. Y'all were already up. I don't know how many points, even though, you know, Arthur Smith was on the next. He was getting fired the next day. But anyway, that is unnecessary, dude. Do what the coach says. It's a reason you're not starting, like Stephen A. Smith said. Or no, excuse me, Shannon Sharp said, and that's one of the reasons because you like to go against the grain and run your own show. You don't have that kind of cachet to run your own show, dude. You're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not Lamar Jackson. Stop.
Greg, jump in there.
A crappy move from a crabby guy. Like Coach and Money said, complete disrespect. At first, I was upset at Arthur Smith for getting upset like that because the team hadn't done anything the whole second half. But once I saw that they lined up in victory formation and pulled that, I was completely on his side. Yeah, you don't do nothing like that. You could have got a player hurt, and the player gets hurt on that, or something happens from that, then Jameis, you facing way more heat than you facing now. I don't think he'll be back in New Orleans. I think he needs to be cut. He deserves to be cut. He really deserves to be out the league. Nobody's buying his crap anymore. I think the dude got a mental issue. I mean, he said some strange stuff in the locker room. Get help, crab leg QB. Get help.
All right. Antonio Henderson said Jameis is out of there and his career is over. Horace said he won the locker room for sure. The VP said now famous is good in Nolans. The locker room loves that dude. Jerome K said we all need a friend like Jameis. The VP said facts. Anthony Ray said crab leg Winston is trash. Victory formation is prevent injury. Jerome K said, Coach, keep your head on a swivel at all times. Antonio Henderson, Jameis got Down syndrome for real. What's up? What's up, Ray? I like that. Down syndrome. That was a play on words right there. I like that. Vincent Wood said it was a good distraction. Famous got Falcon fans worked up for the wrong reason instead of being peeved that they had an awful season. Winston Thornton said, how y'all feel about – we'll get back to that. The Dixon Way said it's Bush League, but I thank Crab Legs for pushing Arthur Smith to blow his top. That ultimately got him fired. That's why I said that's a great move. Like I was about to – the Dixon Way take is exactly where I was going with this. Yes, in general, it's a Bush League move, but in ministry, we know that some things are contextual. The context was Operation Arthur Smith, get out of Atlanta. And when he blew his cover, lost his mind, it showed that he does not have the mental fortitude to lead a group of men. So Jameis Winston should be praised by every Falcons fan because that was the nail in the coffin. So Jameis Winston, you're right with me, bro. Let me get back to the Dixon Wade's comment. It got him fired because Arthur Blank was on the fence about firing him before that display of anchor. And you took my take, Dixon Wade. No doubt about it. Did the Saints have a running play that is run out of victory formation, or did Jameis draw the play up on the palm of his hand? Mr. Crab Legs is nothing more than a clown. He continues to show the world how immature he is. I'm surprised he's still on the team. All right.
So Rev, you okay with Arthur Smith saying you said that was the end there when he said you're nothing but a beep and you beep and all that beep you did was beep. And
he unraveled on national television. That's what we needed to see. So that if Arthur Blank attempted to keep him there, all of the sports analysts could use that clip to show Arthur Blank you are a fool for keeping that coach around. So Jameis Winston did us a favor.
You're right, Rev, because all the pundits and podcasts I heard this week were saying that was the one that was the thing that pushed Arthur Blank over.
For sure.
He
embarrassed the franchise. Blank paid Jameis that good money to help get Smith out of the organization. Crab Legs was completely wrong for that because it's outside the spirit of the game, but it got El Mustachio out the door. He couldn't go off on anyone else but Allen. And
right, Antonio. Because that's the only person. In my fact, it was another coach out there that called him a B-A-N. You know what I mean by that. And he didn't say nothing to him, but he sure was all up in Dennis Allen's face. That big black coach that called him a B-A, you know what I'm talking about? Arthur didn't say nothing to him. So you're right. He's picking and choosing his battles.
That's cool. All right, let's move on. We talked a little about this earlier. Harbaugh to the NFL. The question is where, and I know we talked about him possibly linking up with the Atlanta Falcons, but we want to talk about where do you think realistically? If you think it's Atlanta, tell us why. If it's not Atlanta, somewhere else, tell us why. Armani, tell us why. Go.
I think he's going to be with the Chargers ultimately because they already have a quarterback. They got a quarterback. They got a defense. They got Khalil Mack. They got Joey Bosa on the line. The defense is there. The offense is there. They just need a head coach. I think Harbaugh's going to come in. He's not going to want to do a whole reconstruction like the Falcons. Well, Falcons only need really a quarterback. And but he's going to be responsible for developing that quarterback when Herbert is already pretty much developed. He's going to be who he's going to be at this point as a quarterback. So he's probably going to end up with the Chargers.
Red, jump at it.
When you thinking realistically, I agree with Armani. I think the Raiders are going to give him a call. I think the Panthers should give him a call. And Seattle might consider giving him a call. But more than like, and of course the Falcons. Of course, I want to see Arthur Blank definitely should give him a call. But like you say, if he's looking for a quick fix, he'll probably look at Herbert and the Chargers and that California living. I mean, if the Chargers come calling with enough bank, and you know they're going to give them full control because ain't nobody in the Chargers organization that no more football than Harbaugh. They already fired him. So, well, okay. Those places I named: Chargers, Seattle, Atlanta, and Carolina.
Coach.
I will never have anything good to say about Jim Harbaugh because one, he destroyed my championship. First of all, I have nothing good to say about him. I'll just give him a.
Me too, Coach. Me too. I get it.
Exactly, Armand. Exactly.
He said y'all destroyed yourselves. If y'all had faith in his team, y'all would have won. That's what he just told me.
I like Harbaugh though. I like Harbaugh.
Go ahead, Coach.
He's gonna end up. I mean, it depends on who. Again, I guarantee he's a money guy, and whoever throws that most money at him. The Falcons better back the Brinks truck up. The bank better mortgage Home Depot in order to get him. But if he don't, then I don't know. Raiders, like I said, is between him and Pierce. So flip a coin. I'll say Falcons might get him.
Anthony Ray said Michigan is going to throw the bag at Harbaugh. Jerome K says taxes will determine where Harbaugh will not go. Cali taxes are crazy.
Ridiculous.
Horace says Atlanta because he's an organization builder. Falcons not far away. Plus, it's the same. It's not the same conference as his brother. The VP said Harbaugh will be heading to Atlanta or Chargers. Same. Atlanta has a nice defense. Not sure how many draft picks they have, but he could possibly draft a QB. and make him his own Chargers ready-made team. I'm still peeved that Anthony Lynn has proven not to have been the problem. Sounds about right. Anthony Ray said he's going to want to attempt a back-to-back like UGA, so he's staying in Michigan. Antonio Henderson said Harbaugh won't be at Michigan next year due to the fallout of everything that's coming Michigan's way. Harbaugh knows the NCAA will suspend him next year, so he's out of there, and Hellinati will be vacated. The VP gave Jerome Case some kudos for his great take. Georgia, it is. Those taxes don't matter. I would say let's not fail to remember Harbaugh does not mind building a squad because remember, he was the one who built Colin Kaepernick.
That's true.
Colin Kaepernick was the one who led the San Francisco 49ers to that Super Bowl against the Baltimore Ravens. So Harbaugh is not afraid to take on the challenge of building his own quarterback. So that's something to think about.
Gave Alex Smith a little confidence because Alex Smith was almost flushed it out when Harbaugh got there.
For sure.
I think if it weren't for Harbaugh, Alex Smith would have been out the league quicker than he was.
For sure, no doubt about it. Last comment from the comment section of Revenant Nation. Harbaugh will stay at Michigan or head to one of those West Coast teams. Who knows? We may be talking about his destination next week. What if Harbaugh came to Atlanta and brought Kaepernick back with them? We don't want that.
That ain't happening.
I mean, unless he's leading the Black Lives Matter march, we don't need him as the quarterback. You can't sit out for 4 or 5 seasons and all of a sudden get back in the NFL play. That Kaepernick train has
derailed.
Thank you. All right. Horace said 3 straight NFC championship games. No doubt about it. Arthur Blank will have a coronary. All right. Thank y'all so much, man. Good job, fellas, with 5-5 River Nation. Y'all been on fire with your comments on today. Now let's get to the matter at hand. NFL picks. Let's get to it. Let's look at our
time to eat, baby. Time to eat.
Let's look at our standings real quickly, and I'm gonna just say, Armani, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. My Cash App is anticipating some melodies and some money from heaven to fall fresh on it because we know how you get down, Armani. So keep on doing what you're doing, bro.
I'm glad you talked me out of sending you that money, Armani.
All right, here we are with the standings, ladies and gentlemen. We have a pick'em challenge between the 4 of us, and let's just say Rev is on top.
What the? Oh my God! Wow! My goodness!
Yeah, Coach. You went with the Falcons last week. I went with the Saints.
Yeah.
You went with the Dolphins last week. I went with the Bills.
You went with
so
the
that's
Bills.
Where we got
Yeah,
our separation. Did. So Rev is moving into the playoffs with a 2-game lead over Coach. So that's newsworthy. And then also for those who don't know, whoever comes in last place in our pick'ems is responsible to treat us.
It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet.
Just to put context to this, Red was surely getting his money ready. He was working overtime.
It ain't over yet.
Christmas holiday because he was about 10 games off the pace. And Armani has helped him out where Red is only 1 game behind Armani to determine who's going to feed us. And we got about 4 weeks of playoff football left. So we will know probably real soon who's going to be paying for that steak meal. So I'm ahead 2 games over Coach, 10 games over Armani, 11 games over Red. And Armani has a 1-game lead over Red for who's going to pay for steak. All right, so that's the context of what we're dealing with on today.
Ain't how you start, it's how you finish, baby.
We could steak to steakums.
All right, so we showed them standards, VP. All right, here we go. Let's Armani, you can't let Tide water down. All right, here we go, gentlemen. Let's get them picking music. I will pick first. I will not give Coach that luxury to choose first since he's in second place. And now it's time to bring this championship on home. So, Red, I can be the official back-to-back champion. Not waiting on nobody else to tie like you were with NCAA. But I will be the official. That's what Red tells his dates. It's not how you start. That was good, man. Revenite Nation always steps up to the plate. All right, let's get ready.
Oh boy, man, y'all crazy, man.
No, we don't do Roof Chris. We don't do Roof Chris. We work on the budget. We do long. We do long on step or two below Roof Chris. But they have good food. Armani got that ill-advised bet from dude in the Bird game to pay for dinner. Okay. All right, let's get on with some music.
Got me crying over here, man. Y'all got me crying today.
All right.
That was a good one, Tom.
Here we go. Y'all feel free to pick along with us. We'll show your picks right after we get through with our pick NFL playoff picks. First game that we're going to pick, even though this game is tomorrow. We got the Packers versus the Cowboys. I'm on top, so I'm going first. I'm going with the Cowboys. This game is at home. The Cowboys have been lights out at home. I don't see Jordan Love in his first playoff game going in to Dallas, taking Dallas down. Dallas earned the number 2 seed after the debacle of the Eagles, and I don't see them losing a home game, so I'm going with the Cowboys. Who you got, Red?
I'm with you, Red. I thought about the upset, but it was good to Love Dr. Make the playoffs. I just don't think they're ready to pull off this upset yet. In Dallas, man, y'all cannot lose this game. I tell you, the world will crumble. Texas Stadium will crumble, man. And we saw 2 years ago. If you thought them fans were disappointed, lose tomorrow, and it ain't gonna happen. It can't happen. It just cannot happen. Dallas will finally get that bucket off of their wild card back and finally go to the divisional round. Dallas wins.
Armani, who you got, man?
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. They're at home in Jerry World. Packers, they had a good. To be honest, the Packers had a good season this year, but they got a minute before they can compete. I don't know if they're gonna go with Jordan Love long term, but this will be it for them, Cowboys.
Go.
I'm gonna go with the Packers to keep the game close, and then the Cowboys go win. It's gonna be Cowboys. That home field is something. It's hard. They are undefeated at home, but.
All right, Coach got frozen, but we got his pick in. All right, here they are. The VP said, them girl. Dana Johnson. What's up, bro, Dana? Going up with the Cowboys. Antonio, Cowboys. Anthony Ray, Cowboys. Antonio says the Packers ain't ready. The president playing on the love doctor. The Packers will get no love. Cowboys. Winston Thornton. Dallas. Jerome Case, love will break the hearts of the Cowboys nation. There we go. Here we go. One. There's always one. There's always one. But Antonio's already predicting the Cowboys losing in the second round. We'll get to that next week. Ray Ellison says Green Bay. Okay. Now, G says the Packers can't trust. These sound like Cowboy haters more so than picking.
Yeah. G Ray, y'all know y'all just hate those Cowboys.
I'm a Cowboy hater too, but just not this week. Let's be realistic.
Alexis Hill got Dallas. All right. So on to the next game, gentlemen. Red, it's on you, man. Browns versus Texans. Who you got?
Oh man. Well,
it's tough.
What'd you say?
So this is tough.
Yeah, this is tough because you got CJ Stroud having the magical rookie season going against the old man Joe Flacco. But boy, you got defense. I don't know, it must be a comment said. Whew. And this is in Texas, right? In Houston.
Yes, sir.
Wow, they making Flacco them go on the road because Houston won that division. Man, I know the Houston fans gonna be pumped up. Ooh, and if Flacco go out there and make a couple of mistakes, man, Houston.
All right, we need to pick sometime today.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the upset. I'm gonna go Houston. I'm gonna go CJ shots us all and get his first playoff win. A rookie QB gets a playoff win over the Browns, and I love the Browns, but I think Denzel Ward a little nicked up, and Flacco. Some tell me he might go out and throw. If he had them turnovers like he did 1 or 2 turnovers this game, that might be enough to get the Browns eliminated. But we'll see. Because Flacco can have the turnovers and still win the game. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna take Houston at home to surprise us all and keep this D'Amico Ryan and CJ Stroud train going just a little while longer. So I love you, Browns, love you, Flacco. You impressed us all this year. But I'm taking the Texans.
Armani, who you got, man?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get on that DeMarco. Is it D'Amico or DeMarco? I think it's D'Amico Ryans. Yeah, man, they got it going. They got it going. I believe in CJ Stroud. So, and at this point, CJ Stroud is definitely is the better quarterback over Joe Flacco. But at this point in his career, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Coach, who you riding with?
I'm gonna go with the Browns. I just think that defense is gonna rattle Stroud a little bit and go that pressure coming on him is maybe a little too much to overcome. I'm gonna go with the Browns.
I'm rocking with you, Coach. I'm going with the Browns as well. I think I'm gonna go with Flacco's playoff experience over Stroud's rookie playoff experience, and I think Flacco's gonna be able to do all right. Because all he has to do is do what Trent Dilfer did for the Baltimore Ravens when they had that fire defense. Just don't lose the game. So this is why I'm going to rock with Coach and go with the Browns. Bro Dana, who's a trustee at our church, says, hey, Rev, let's take up a collection and get Coach a new laptop. Antonio got the Texans. Ray got the Texans. G got the Texans.
What?
Anthony Ray got the
Texans. I'm going to be by myself with the Texans.
No, you got Armani. Who went with the Texans?
I know. I thought he was going to go with Brian.
Brother Dana said Browns. The president said Browns will shock the world. VP said Stroud is mobile enough to navigate that Browns defense. I say Flacco and them turds head back home. Winston says Browns. Jerome says CJ has the right initials and his faith is for it. I'm going Texas over the Doo-Doo Browns. Doo-Doo Brown. Alexis Hill got the Texans. Antonio said Flacco going Falco, the replacements. Yeah, got you on that one. All right, man. Here we go. On to the next one. Let me get some new music on there since the other music copped out. Red, you up. Get ready. On to the next game. Dolphins versus my Chiefs. Who you got, Redrick? No, I'm sorry. Forgive me. This is Armani. My bad. We're going around the horn. Armani, who you got, man?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, the Chiefs, they just, not this year, man. I think they either they'll probably get beat this weekend because, I mean, the Dolphins seems like they're doing good. They got Tua. Tyreek is not out. He will be playing. They will be missing Bradley, but I think the Dolphins will be good enough to beat this Chiefs team, so they'll stay home for the playoff, for the rest of the playoff.
Go ahead, Coach.
Oh, man, Miami, 70 degrees and sunny. Kansas City, 0, 22 to -22 and cold. Tyreek Hill already talked about what the clothing I had to put on to play in.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Chiefs easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs as well. I was thinking the same thing. Coach was thinking when Armani made his pick. I was like, does he think this game is in Miami or in Kansas City? Tua's game does not translate to cold weather. Not at all. All right, there won't be much of an aerial attack in negative some odd degree weather. So it's going to be a bunch of screens, nothing really downfield. The Chiefs' defense is more stout than the Dolphins, and who have the Dolphins beat? Can we insert Keith Sweat? Nobody worth pulling for in the playoffs. So got to be the Chiefs. Even though that's my team, got to be Chiefs. Red, go with it, man.
Real, lock this in. Make sure you lock this pick in. Armani ain't changing this pick. This is locked and set in stone. Thank you, Armani. Thank you for taking the Dolphins. Oh boy, let me say with great pride, I am honored to take the Chiefs this week. Really honored to take the Chiefs this week. Thank you, Armani, for taking the Dolphins, man. Like they said, man, this team coming from that warm weather down to that, it may be colder than Green Bay this week, man. And Tyreek Hill might be there, but will he really be there? Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
I don't know, Armani, but I appreciate that. This might seal my victory from being in last place. I appreciate that because KC is gonna be so ready for this game. You just don't know. Taylor Swift is gonna have an earmuff, a little fur coat on that Travis bought her for Christmas. Gonna be up in that booth cheering her man on. Travis Kelce. Trust me, he show up for the playoffs now. He might have a boo-boo regular season, but this is playoffs. Mahomes, this is playoffs, baby. So forget everything you saw in the regular season. Forget Tony dropping balls and Nico dropping balls and Van Scantling, whatever his name, dropping balls. He's about to be a new team, Real, and you're going to see starting tonight. KC over the Dolphins. And Eric, I hope you're watching because it ain't going to be pretty. Eric, Maurice, all you Dolphins fans, you had a good season, but it is tonight, baby.
Maurice is actually in Kansas City, got on that plane to go to freezing Kansas City. So
I know he's cold down.
We'll see what his report is. Brian Cody going back to the other game. He got the Browns over the Texans. Brother Danny got the Chiefs. G got the Chiefs. Case, I'm not surprised with this pick. Dolphins over the Chiefs and Refs. Here we go. Yes. Anthony Ray says, weather plays no favor to no one. Miami in a surprise and upset. Antonio says, Chiefs because of the weather. Dolphins ain't ready for cold, bro. The VP says, Chiefs will cook in sub-degree weather. Have you ever eaten frozen Mahai chunks? All right. G says, don't forget the weather is expected to be nasty in Kansas. Winston Thornton says, KC, Miami has too many injuries. I believe Chubb would be one of those injuries he's referring to. The VP says, I had to look and see where they were playing before making my pick. Ray says Miami, they will lean on the running game. Alexa says Chiefs in a blowout. VP says -5 degrees at game time. Dixon Way says Texans win and KC wins. Antonio says them boys practice in deep freezer. G says temperature will be 1 degree with a wind chill of -20 in Kansas. We see that weather keep coming up. Weather report further says it will feel like -30 when the wind and zero with the wind and zero precipitation. I'm sorry. Antonio Henderson said colder than a polar bear toenails.
Hey, Red.
Yeah, hold it right quick.
Okay.
The president says he got the fish and he's smelling it. That sounds good for Armani.
I don't care what you smell.
Outcast. Jerome K says, who has the better running game? It's really about a tie. Because what's my man's name? The running back for Pacheco. Yeah, Pacheco can run that thing.
Hey, Real.
Yes, sir.
Guess what the temperature is in Miami right now?
What is it?
82 degrees. Stop.
82. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
You said that's what it is in Miami, Coach?
Right now, 82 degrees. All Miami had to do was beat the Bills, and that's what they would have been playing in this week. So, matter of fact, Stephen A. Smith said they deserve to be in those sub-zero temperatures because they choked away the division lead. All right, on to the next one. Coach, I'm waiting for your pick on this one. Steelers versus the Bills, and I just want to see how you go craft this one, man. I'm just waiting. I am just waiting to see how you gonna craft this one.
Yeah, I had some confidence before we had to move the game to Monday. Now I got a slight drop off moving the game to Monday. I think the governor is a coward, whoever the governor is who decided to cancel the game. Because, Rev, I'm going to ask you this question. Who got the better running game, Steelers or Bills?
They both, I would say, about the same because Cook has been coming on. Because remember, part of the Bills' resurgence in the standings because they've employed Cook to run the ball. And they got them more balanced. So I would say it's kind of a tie if we say anything.
That two-headed monster, Najee and Warren, has been beasting for over 200 yards the last few games. And they got to come. Najee done started to stiff arm a couple people. And in a game like this with that cold weather, your running game is going to be key. Who can stop the run? Buffalo ranked number 27 against the run. So the running game is going to be key. I don't expect Mason Rudolph to go out there and throw for 300 yards. I don't expect Josh Allen to throw for 300 yards in that kind of weather. And then they're without Gabe Davis. They're one of their main wide receivers. They're without two starting cornerbacks. So, and of course, Steelers are without T.J. Watt. So, pick 'em game. But you know who I'm picking.
Ho. Coach, you will not downplay T.J. Watt being out. You will not do it.
Oh, no, I just said he's out.
I mean, are we going to say we just go to T.J. Watt is out like he's not the best pass rusher?
I ain't want to spend all day on it. We know he's out.
And if T.J. Watt played for the Bills and was not able to play, you would no way in the world pick the Bills if T.J. Watt was on the Bills and wasn't ready to play.
He's going to be a visceral miss in that game. But if it moved back, he might play.
Please. Not no day. So just go and say the Steelers because you can't pick against them.
I'm going to go with the Steelers because I think they're going to control the ball. I'm telling you, they control that ball and keep Josh Allen off the field. I go with the Steelers.
Coach is the only person on our panel who has never picked against his team. Like Coach is putting fandom before reality every time. And I thank him. I thank him because he's going to increase my lead to a 3-game lead. So I appreciate it. I might clinch this thing before the Super Bowl. So I appreciate you. And that's why I was loving when the Steelers made it because I said they're going to play the Bills in Buffalo. So that means Coach is going to pick them regardless. So I already knew it. So thank you, Coach. I'm going with the Bills. They are the better offensive team. Rudolph is going to play like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The weather's perfect for it. I'm not picking no Mason Rudolph over Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills have improved their running game. And let's remember, one of their best runners happens to be their quarterback, Josh Allen. And Mason Rudolph is not going to be able to do a whole lot with the passing game. Buffalo's going to lock that down. I think Buffalo wins by at least 10 points. So I'm going with the Bills. Who you got, Armani? Now, is your dad watching? All right, man.
Uh-oh.
So you might have to pick with what will make you be able to stay in good graces with Dad over what's reality. So we understand your pick. So go with it.
You see, Armani Real trying to get you to pick with a Longhorn spirit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers, man. They just the better. Hold on.
We can't see it.
They just the better team. They're just a better team. Look.
So you going with on paper?
Yeah. But the Steelers are just a better team. They're just a better team. You know what I'm saying?
All right. That's the first time we've ever had a pick like that. Red Rev Sports Show. All right. Red, who you got, man?
Yeah. Armani was about to make me happy again. I thought he was going to guarantee I was going to be out.
You got to speak like he did. You got to speak like he said the other team.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
buddy,
well,
I appreciate y'all money picking the Steelers and saying all those good things about the Steelers. You must love the Steelers like Coach loves the Steelers. So, but Rev, I am picking the Buffalo Bills. I think the Steelers did good making the playoffs. But you got Mason Rudolph versus Josh. Josh is the better player. The Bills are the better team, and that TJ Watt injury is going to be significant. So, Buffalo to survive this week, and then we'll talk about next week. But don't be surprised if the Steelers hang around, because Josh is always good for some turnovers. I always say he can't stay out of his own way. And if it's a close game, I don't think none of us would be surprised if we come back in here next week and coaches pick hands out because the Bills lost it by a field goal and the Philly Josh still hang around. But other than that, the Bills should win this game convincingly.
All right, G got the Bills. Vincent Woodrow got Bills. He says, I have a doubting Thomas's faith that the Steelers can get this done. Anthony Ray said Bill Mafia on MLK Monday. Antonio Henderson, Steelers all day. Ravens left the gate open, and Tomlin will capitalize on that. Brother Dana said who's a Steelers fan lately. If I pick against the Steelers, they win, so I'm going with Buffalo. Jerome K said the Buffalo Hot Wings over the Steelers. Hold the blue cheese. Winston Thorne said Bills. Alexis Hill said Bills by 3. The president said, I have more faith in the Mason jar than Mason Rudolph. The VP said coach is putting his faith in the wrong Rudolph. The only Rudolph he should have faith in has 4 hooves, antlers, and a bright red nose. The VP also said, I just sent Admiral Sonar. Son, Lieutenant Sonar, has been rolled. Anthony Red said, I respect coach's loyalty. I respect it too. It's going to add another L to his column, so I respect it as well. All right, to the next game is back on me. Rams versus Lions. This is a rough one. And actually, this is a great newsworthy game because this shows the trade between the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams, where Matthew Stafford used to be the starting QB for the Lions, and Jared Goff was starting quarterback for the Rams. Jared Goff lost in the Super Bowl with the Rams and got traded for Matthew Stafford, who ultimately came to the Rams and won the Super Bowl. But things have changed. The Lions stock is going up. The Rams stock is going down since then. The Lions are the home team, and I think the Lions will be up for this challenge, and this will be a statement game for Jared Goff and the entire team, and I think they want to bring Goff to victory. So I'm going to go with the Lions in Detroit to win this one. Go ahead, Armani.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions. The Lions are the better team, having a better season. They're at home. Home field advantage matters. I'm going to go with the Lions.
Brad, who you got, man?
Well, I'm going with the Lions. They definitely need to win this game. Statement game. Got the whole city. Been waiting on this game for years. First playoff game is for a field. The Lions is imperative that you win this game and show fans that this ain't no fluke, that you are here. But don't be surprised. The Rams, they've been playing pretty decent, so it might be closer than we think. And Stafford versus Goff. Stafford still can play now. You know what I'm saying? That Puka Nuka and Cup and that running back, hey, they've been balling, so it might be one of the better games of the weekend, but I think the Lions' home advantage is just there. They got that spirit and that magic this year. I think that's going to put them over the top and have them to get by the Rams. They might get by just a field goal, but I think they'll get by.
Cool.
Anybody that disrespects the great Puka Nacua is going to be in trouble. I can tell you that right now. But I just think that the Lions, you don't hear much about Aaron Donald anymore. Not this year. You haven't heard him terrorizing quarterbacks, but I've heard Aiden Hutchinson terrorizing quarterbacks. So I'm going to go with the Lions.
All right, so it's Lions unanimously on the panel. G got the Rams. Dana Johnson got the Rams. So we see Revenant Nation is already on the other side of the fence. Ray says, I'm going with the panel. Lions. Antonio Henderson, Lions. They want to show the changing of the guard. The president says the Lions from the den will put the Rams in the book. Love the biblical reference. Love it. Vincent, the VP says Rams will get clipped on 8 Mile. Lions win this one by 6. Golf has something to prove after putting up a blistering 3 points in that Super Bowl against the Pats. Anthony Ray say, what up, though, Lions? Antonio said they wore our butts out. Joe Black got the Rams. Jerome Case, Lions win. They will ride the Michigan Championship energy wave for the city. Winston Thornton says Detroit Lions. VP says nicely done, Prez. Daniel and Abraham approve. Love it. Lions by 3. Jared, what's up, brother? How did the Lions become a better organization than us? Shaking my head. Wow. Now. And his us referring to the Atlanta Falcons. Lord have mercy. That's a word in itself right there.
3 years. And they had been a 3 years, like all years.
My. All right, last game. Bucks versus Eagles. It's on Armani. Who you got, Armani?
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. AJ Brown is out, but they're good enough to beat the Eagles. I mean, to beat the Bucks. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
You should have seen Red's face light up. Who you got, Red?
Well, we all know who I don't got. And it's that team that's in Philadelphia. Them doggone E-girls. Look at this mess you have made. You went from 10-1 to 11-6, and now you had to go on the road to play Tampa Bay, and you're not gonna survive, E-girls. Do you hear me? You're not gonna survive. Little Nikki ain't gonna survive. We're gonna have 2 Nickies be removed from their coaching spots this year. One voluntarily and one forcefully. Okay? Little Nikki Sirianni, enjoy it, buddy, because this is your last game in Philly. You are going to be out the door when Baker and Tampa Bay beat the living breaks off of y'all in Tampa Bay. It's over, Philly. Y'all have joked and just coaxed around with everybody all year long. AJ Brown is hurt. Jalen Hurts, you stay hurt. If it ain't a knee or a thigh, it's a little pinky finger. Man, that contract is hurting the Eagles, okay? I don't know what the bunch of Smith doing. Smith, y'all just forgot about him. That defense is god-awful. It's atrocious. Then Blackberry needs to be blackballed from Philly, okay? He gonna be blackballed from Philly after this season. Y'all are going down, Eagles. You going down once again. Eagles lose, Bucks win. Book it. I hope you're listening, Dana and Wallace.
Coach, who you got, man?
I'm going with the Eagles. I think they got a smoke screen going. They done had one of them coaches and players only meetings and behind the scenes that don't nobody talk about. Baker Mayfield is nursing some smoky bones as well. He got some bruised ribs as well, so he ain't 100%. And a couple of licks. Nobody knows who the backup quarterback for the Bucs is. So if the Eagles can get to him and put that pressure on him, it's gonna be tough on the Bucs. I think Mike Evans is gonna be gonna have his usual game, but they're gonna stop the rest of them. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
It's just Kyle Trash, coach.
Oh well, trash, yeah.
So the Eagles in the past 2 weeks.
Congregation watch.
I know it.
That's real.
and I feel empowered because the congregation, particularly deacons from that congregation, have already waved the white flag for this season.
Wow. Really? Well, yeah, they ruffled up. They ruffled up.
And after seeing them lose at home to the Arizona Cardinals,
Yeah, they probably said that.
Which the week before they almost lost at home to the New York Giants. Then they wound up in a meaningful game last week. Got blown out
by the same Giants.
By the same Giants team. Jalen Hurts, rather. Jalen Hurts gonna be looking like Michael Jackson tomorrow because he got to wear a glove on his hand to protect that finger. Then you got AJ Brown, who most likely won't play, who's a top receiver.
He's out.
Oh,
then you got Devontae Smith coming back from injury.
Oh.
And the offense has already been putrid when both of them were there.
Rev said putrid.
And guess what Tampa Bay's head coach specialty is?
Defense.
And the last thing you want to do is come and play a Todd Bowles-led defense with a struggling offense.
At home in Florida with the hot sun.
Yeah. So this reads Tampa Bay all the way, and it reads not fly, Eagles fly, but for this season, die, Eagles die.
Yeah.
Bye, Nick Sirianni. Real, we'll have another coaching vacancy on Tuesday, Real.
I wasn't scared, bro. Hold on right quick. I wasn't scared, bro. I wasn't scared. I was going to tell the truth. And then my mother, who's an Eagles fan, says I'm looking for a miracle. Hold on,
Miss Harris, you got more miracles in Kentucky than you got in Pennsylvania this year.
All right, here we go, man. Coach, hold your thought. Antonio says, fly, Eagles, fly. Bro, Dana got the Bucks. Joe Black, Bucks, and Philly's coach will join the employment line. The VP says Bucks will further put Sirianni on the hot seat. Woo, Lord. Pray for Sister Dana and her EAGLES Eagles. Anthony Ray, Bucks. Eagles have too many injuries, plus the rapid decline. Winston Thorne, Bucks with the upset of Wild Card Weekend. G says, no AJ Brown. The defense is subpar. Give me the Bucks for the W. Crowd trash is the Bucks. Backup VP says. The president says Eagles will buck the trend. Odabe McDowell is the Bucks backup.
Oh, Lord, there we go.
Jerome K's going with the Eagles. The VP said after that game, pastime, we'll have a deacons-only meeting about a changing of the guard, especially if the Chiefs win tonight. The VP's also said Brown is already out. Rev Smith will be bracketed so bad he'll think he's had a set of Encyclopedia Britannica on the bookshelf.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I say, Vincent, you got the one-liners today, man.
Yeah. So I appreciate Coach, man. I might clinch this thing by next week.
Or if the two Pennsylvania teams win, you're gonna be in a tie.
That's true. That's very true.
That's what I'm trying to. That's right, Coach.
That's very true. So
Rev, you gonna be Coach. You gonna be rooting for the state of Pennsylvania this week.
So am I correct though? So if Coach loses both games,
it's pretty much over.
It's pretty much over because there are only 4 games left after next week.
It's pretty much no.
Oh, you have
I'm saying you have 4 games. 4
after
games next week.
Yeah, okay.
And then you got 2 and 1.
Yeah, it's pretty much done deal.
We might get Cool in the game cranked up by at least next week.
And Coach, you didn't have to go with the Steelers, man.
I tell you what, if the two Pennsylvania team win, there's gonna be a different face on the show next week. Rev, you might have a Deacons meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, Coach, Rev might take a reason. I gotta miss this show, y'all. I'll be back next week. It's gonna be one of Rev's guest star appearances next.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Hey.
All right, man. Here we go. We have to go to you have the right to end the show. Who has the right to do what, when, where, and how? Who wants at it first?
I guess I'll go at it. Falcons and Hawks, you have the right to be smart. And why don't you wise up and follow the Braves blueprint? when you get your front offices like the Braves front office, the Falcons and Hawks, things will improve. Okay, you can't have a lot of instability. You got kids running the show with the Hawks. You got old men running the show with the Falcons. Man, we need a young, vibrant, in his prime guy like Alex is with the Braves. That's what the Falcons and Hawks need. So Falcons and Hawks, you have the right to follow the Braves blueprint for once and turn yourself into a perennial contender. Thank you.
All right. Who wants at it next?
SEC fans, y'all have the right to be rejoiceful and be glad in it that Nick Saban is now retired. He is gone. I know it's been a rough upcoming years for y'all. I know y'all are glad that Nick Saban is gone. You don't have to remind me. Nick Saban's gone. Okay, I get it. Y'all be happy. Be happy that y'all got a chance to also witness greatness for 17 years.
All right, Coach. Who has the right to do what, when, where, and how?
North Carolina Tar Heels, you had the right to return to dominance in the ACC. Right now, I'm watching them paintbrush Syracuse by 20-something. So you're on a roll right now. You need to take back over the ACC where you belong and stop playing around, losing the team like Western Carolina and stuff like that. You have a right to destroy everybody this year.
All right, and I will conclude this with the Atlanta Hawks. You have the right to embrace my hashtag that I need to go viral all through the ATL and all throughout the NBA. And that is simply hashtag trade Trey. Hashtag trade Trey. Trade Trey. Trade Trey. Trade Trey. Trade Trey. Build around Jalen Johnson. You cannot build a basketball team around a 5'10" player whose go-to shot is a floater or a half-court three-pointer. Trade him, get assets, keep DeJounte Murray, let him run with Jalen Johnson, and let's see what the Hawks can do to put this team in the right direction as long as Trae Young is on the squad. This is what you have to look forward to. Another fine coach. And you've done that too many times since Trae Young has been on the team. So again, hashtag let Hawks trade Trae. All right, with that being said, let's get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all, Reverend Night Nation, for blessing us with your presence. Let's see. Dolphins and Chiefs are on Peacock tonight, no doubt about it. On Peacock tonight. SAS, you have a right to dress better. Miami, you have the right to throw out your giblets on that long, warm plane ride home back to tropical weather. Safe travels, Prime Minister Maurice Thrower. Dear Falcons, you have the right to make the right decisions in hiring a coach. Otherwise, my hopes will lie in the Miami and the Atlanta Vibes pro football team. Anthony Ray is on the trade train. Let's pump it up. VP says Rev's take. This is how they break up the ball. Time will reveal a dream can't stop. Love it. Reverend Night Nation, y'all showed up.
And the Hawks championship run 2 years ago, that's the rhythm of the night. And we ain't been there since. So trade is a one-hit wonder, baby.
All right, Joe Black got one more. UGA basketball has the right to finish his upset against Tennessee. All right, thank y'all so much for tuning in to episode 309. We had a lot to talk about. We look forward to episode 310 to recap some of the things that we talked about. 309, who knows? The Atlanta Falcons might have a head coach that we'll be talking about next week. Jim Harbaugh might have landed somewhere by next week. So we got a lot to talk about. Thanks again for watching episode 309. Same channel, Facebook page, or fans Facebook page, same YouTube channel next week for episode 310.
What it feels like, the world is on my shoulder.
Hey, Georgia is winning by 9 points. They got to lead.
No doubt. All right, we're out of here, everybody. Peace.